she wanted me to go and look, so I just ran down there and watched him pop out. It was head first, and like his whole body rotated like this, and the rest of the way.
Is it fast?
For some women, for others, no. So we got very lucky, and she actually only spent 26 minutes pushing.
That's not
That's
bad.
actually
It's fucking insane.
That's really like a short amount of time.
Yeah.
My mom was in the hospital for like a full day.
Yep.
So
My mom, for her firstborn, was in labor for 36 hours roughly.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. So
that's
I think
a long time.
I think he was just ready to join the world and say hi to everybody. You know?
He's an impatient kid.
Did you guys do the with the drugs or without the drugs?
She wanted to go with them, but there was some issues getting the needle into her spine,
Yeah.
the epidural, because she has scoliosis. And so
yeah,
they
I bet
couldn't
that-
get the needle in there perfectly. And so after like 5 to 10 minutes of trying, Callie was like, no, it's time. It's time to push now. So we ended up not doing the epidural or any kind of pain medication. But
Damn.
yeah, she said she wouldn't want to do it any other way now.
Maybe it's the medication that takes the kid why it takes so long for the
It
kid
is
to come
possible
out.
because like you can't feel anything down here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So like there's a lot of feedback that you get, like, okay, now it's time to push. I can feel my body like telling me it's time.
And when you can't feel down there, you can't get any of that feedback or even really feel yourself.
You don't really
pushing.
know when to push.
You're
Yeah.
completely relying on the doctors to tell you when to push when you get an epidural.
And how much do they really know?
I mean, they
I
probably
would
know a
hope
good,
more than me.
good
Hopefully,
they probably
yeah.
know a good amount, but
Yeah.
like your body knows you best, I would say. So like it's probably better for your body to respond to that, other than the doctor just telling you.
Is that a specific type of doctor, like a delivery room doctor?
It's an OBGYN. So
yeah.
it's the same doctor that you have throughout the entire pregnancy.
That makes sense. Do you guys have a good one?
Yeah. His name was Dr. Christian. Sorry for doxing you, but
We can
Shout out,
bleep.
doctor.
I think he won't mind being a good doctor.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out. He did a great job. I remember the first time I met him, he was wearing Skechers, and I was like, this doctor wore Skechers to work, you know?
Chill guy.
Yeah, it seems like my kind of dude.
Yeah.
So I'd rather him be in Skechers than in slacks.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't want your doctor to take himself too seriously.
Yeah, especially in a delivery room.
Yeah. Things are already serious
Yeah, it's
enough.
already tense.
A doctor that could crack a couple jokes here and there, you know? It's appreciated. I could only imagine, dude, just like going through that experience and then like all of a sudden there's like a mini me just chilling.
Yeah, because there's like that whole like 9-month period where you're getting ready and like trying to mentally prepare, get your house ready and all that sort of thing. But then like it actually happens and you're like, wait, they're just going to let me take this baby home now? Like, I don't need a permit for this? Or like, what's up?
I don't need to sign papers or anything. It's just mine. Yep.
There was a little paperwork to get his social security number and get his birth certificate and stuff.
What about like the birth certificate picking his name out and stuff?
That took us probably like 3 months into the pregnancy before we got a name picked out and stuff.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, it's pretty quick.
Was
Some
it
people
hard to
don't.
agree on a name?
Yes, incredibly.
I'm sure.
Because my wife really likes like the more unique names.
Yeah.
And I was more of like, let's name him
Traditional.
Zach or Cody or like,
Yeah.
you know.
Did you know the gender before it would
Yeah.
be born? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as we could, we got like all the genetic testing done.
Nice.
And that sort of
Perfect.
thing.
Why'd you
Although-
guys opt out of the gender reveal party?
Because it's tacky as hell.
Could have went viral on TikTok, man.
Did you see that one of that couple down in Mexico that did one with like the pilot like spraying out like the pink stuff and then the pilot crashed and died?
See, that's
That's
why
tough.
you hear a lot of stories about that around gender reveal parties.
They
So
go too crazy, man.
They do. They get too intricate.
Way too crazy.
None of these people have like event production backgrounds. So
Yeah,
it's like, why are
yeah.
you operating a confetti cannon? Or
It'd be perfect for you to do it though.
yeah. I guess if anybody wants a sick ass baby shower or
Let's do
like a
Gender
gender
reveal
reveal,
party.
hit me up.
I'll do a pyrotechnician gender reveal.
That would be
Like
insane.
pink and blue flames.
Yeah, you find
Yeah.
like the right chemical to burn. So
Yeah,
that it comes out.
exactly.
Is there any like I don't know if are you down to talk about like your stuff with Motherload on the podcast?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you got any upcoming shows that you'll be doing the lighting on?
No, so I'm still actually learning how to operate everything. So today was only my second time entering the facility, and most of today was just getting ready for the dance troupe that was coming through.
Yeah.
They have their own lighting tech
Okay.
for their tour, and so it was getting everything adjusted like how she would want it. You
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. Sometime like I think it's like April 17th or something, right before Easter. There's an event that I'll be doing lights for, so I have like just around a month to get prepared for that.
Nice.
That'll
I
be
feel like
chill, though.
that's a good amount of time to learn everything there.
Yeah, for sure. There's like it's a really deep rabbit hole to go down because I'm only really used to operating like up to 10 lights at one given time, you know?
Yeah.
And now I'm operating like over 100, and so it's just it's a lot to chew off of like right at the very beginning. But I think once I get like all my scenes programmed into the controller and stuff, it should be relatively simple.
Yeah.
Once you get like it streamlined to your process
exactly.
and everything.
Because every lighting tech kind of does things a little bit differently from each other. You know, of course,
Well, yeah.
like the programming has to be the same, but
Everyone has their own process of how they're doing it or how they're setting it up. So
no, it's cool. Like I'm primarily a sound tech. I also run visuals on the side, and then now I guess I do lighting. You know,
yeah.
How many other techs are there?
at the mother.
You're collecting them like Pokemon. You got the audio, visual. You got the lighting.
I mean, those are all generally good skills just for production purposes.
sure.
Like
Exactly.
if you ever want to do anything on like a movie production, you have all the skills to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, I could do like the lighting on sets and stuff.
You could do like microphone audio.
Yeah, I could do the
and stuff
audio,
like
everything
that.
except for the cameras and
Yeah.
like, you know, set design. I could do set design, but like
Do you have
I
any
just-
interest in learning about like camera and visual type stuff like that?
I did concert and wedding photography
Okay.
back from like 2016 to 2019. So like I'm knowledgeable on like DSLR cameras like these.
Yeah.
But like the big cinema cameras and stuff.
Those ones that cost like a down payment on a home.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little above my pay grade, you know.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
feel
tho-
like you got to be in balls deep to even have access to fuck
Oh,
around
for
with
sure.
those.
Most of those guys don't even own their own equipment. It like belongs to the company that they work
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, and they
stuff.
like lend it out to them and shit. Yeah.
Like
Unless you're
those-
on a big movie production, you're not getting access to those giant cool ass cameras.
Like those churches that have those fucking like crazy setups that they bring on the road with them and shit. That they
Yeah,
just
churches
fucking-
go ridiculous. That's
It's
for sure.
Yeah.
insane, bro. Like those one guys who came through the fucking Baptists.
even
Oh my god.
even my ex's father's church was like pretty run up with like really good tech camera stuff, good computers and whatnot. I was like, God damn, this is church.
What percentage of audio
shit,
visual
dude.
jobs do you think are like employed by churches?
I would say probably close to like 2/3.
Yeah, nowadays,
Fucking
yeah.
insane.
But like it's just like consistent, you know, like every Sunday or whatever they have their stuff. And so, but then, you know, you talk to like a lot of them, and a lot of those church techs are doing it volunteer. Like some of them get paid like for some of the bigger churches and stuff, but the majority of them aren't.
Yeah.
Same thing with like the bands and stuff. They're just doing it to like donate to their church type of deal.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Have you watched Severance yet?
No,
Unbelievable.
You
bro.
got
I
me-
haven't like
I-
watched any TV.
I watched like the first 3 episodes. It's pretty good. It's directed in a really interesting way.
No, I
So,
mean the episode, the scenes that you showed me like definitely piqued my
I
interest.
saw that there's that one long take where he's like running through the hallway.
That's
saw
the one you showed
I
me.
saw that on Instagram, and then I saw like how they shot that, and I was like, oh, that's actually really fucking cool. So
It's the best thing out right now.
I'm interested in the show. It's good.
I'm trying to think. What have we been watching? We watched Yellow Jackets.
I've heard a lot of
Ooh.
stuff about that.
Yeah.
How is it?
It was pretty good. I feel like it kind of falls off like around the middle of season 2. I just maybe I'm like getting more used to the universe that they're in, and it's
Yeah.
not as like new and interesting. But kind of like how have you guys watched Lost at all?
No,
I got into like season 1 and a little bit of season 2 of Lost, but I was like 13, so
I've
I
heard a
didn't
lot
really-
about Lost though. So
Lost has
Lost is-
influenced a lot of like
Yeah.
modern
Yeah.
television.
So like Yellow Jackets, I feel like is pretty heavily inspired by Lost and like Lord of the Flies and like that style
Yeah.
of show.
There was a theory me and Michael were talking about yesterday that every movie or like show that's ever released is slightly, if not fully, based off The Wizard of Oz or Citizen Kane.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Give me this pitch.
It's from this guy named Eric Voss on YouTube, and he like just it's hard to describe it, but every movie he's ever broken down on YouTube, he's just able to like compare it to either Citizen Kane or The World of Wizard of Oz. Like in basically every movie, you're either getting taken to this fantasy land and like imagining a whole bunch of different stuff. And I've never watched Citizen Kane personally, but I've watched The Wizard of Oz a shit ton. But so his pitch was just basically like everything that's ever been made, just because those two movies are so culturally significant, has some basis of those movies, even if you don't mean for it to. It like just does.
It just reminds me of how it's like nearly impossible to come up with an original creative thought nowadays. You know,
That's what Michael's talking about with Severance, because I've never seen any show or like book or anything with like the idea that Severance has.
Well, like, I mean, there's like things that kind of like relate to Severance, like 1984, just kind of like that dystopian Big Brother's watching you, super like corporations run the world kind of idea. You know, I think. Like, think about how many stories are based off of like biblical tellings or things like Greek mythology or Roman mythology, stuff like that. You know, like everything's derived from like kind of like the same structure of shit, I think.
yeah, the hero's journey is the plot device used by pretty much every major movie.
Exactly. There's always a protagonist, you know, like some shit happens.
There's always like a climax at the film, and then it dies down, and then it goes to the end.
It starts off like at home, then there's like a call to adventure, the journey into unknown, and then, you know, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like every single show basically has that, because that's just the steps of movies and shows. Like that's the cycle that you have to follow to make a good movie.
There's only a few like versions of media where they don't follow that, and it's like the Family Guys, the South Parks,
like the comedy type stuff.
Yeah, like even Friends sort of doesn't fall into that.
Yeah. Sitcom type of shows.
I just ran out of weed today. That sounds nice.
Perfecto. We also have dabs.
Yes.
Hey,
Let's go.
for the boys. Can we get some poggies in chat?
Some poggies in chat?
Let me grab the ashtray.
Oh, yeah, it's behind the facade.
I like that you guys. Was this here last time I came through?
We tuck it behind the couch because it annoys the fuck out of me.
Oh, okay.
It collects hair like a mother, because I got it like, 10 inches too long. I didn't do the measurements like a retard, so.
Just cut it.
Well, and that's the
Yeah,
thing
we
that-
could just cut it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really bug me that much. It's literally there just so light from the other room doesn't come in.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you have full control over how it looks in
exactly.
here.
We've been trying to get this lighting shit, all the cord management too. Oh my God, it's so much.
But even like we were talking about it with you last time you were here, we're planning on moving that desk just over to the other side of this wall, so we have more space here for lighting and whatnot. But give that like a year. It'll
Do you
probably
know
look
the
good.
name game?
The name game.
I say the first name of somebody, and
Somebody,
whoever
like,
guesses the
famous
last
or-
name gets to hit it next.
Rogan.
Okay, he knows.
He
knows.
already got it.
Okay.
He's already guessing,
'Kay.
bro. He hasn't even said anything yet.
Tom,
Brady.
Segura. Selleck. Cruz.
super famous Toms.
Cruz. Hardy. Tom.
You know more famous people than me.
You know him too.
Tom.
I'm just quick with it.
Okay, I'll give you guys a hint. Castaway.
Hanks. Yeah.
You know Tom Hanks,
I know who
right?
Tom Hanks is. Yeah. There's too many Toms in the world.
There's so many. That's why I went with that
There's
one.
so many famous Toms, dude. It's insane.
You were holding weed, so I just thought Seth Rogen. You know, like.
I thought you were
Yeah.
going more Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense too.
Spelled different, but still the same sound.
Are they spelled different?
Yeah, Seth Rogen is E-N, and then Joe Rogan is A-N,
That's weird.
right?
The EN's weird. I like the AN just makes sense.
Rogan. Yeah.
Rogan, yeah.
Rogan.
Instead of Rogaine.
Rogaine.
Yeah.
It's crazy that Joe Rogan went from being like a TV show host on Fear Factor to like being where he's at now.
Have you guys checked out his new stand-up special?
Oh yeah.
Joe Rogan's? Uh-uh.
I heard it
I'm-
flopped pretty bad. I haven't actually watched it. But.
I'm on top of everything stand up, like specials that come out, everything. I watch them like the day they come out.
What do you think of the new Joe Rogan one?
This is the live one, right?
He's wearing like that yellow mustard.
Yeah. It was okay. There's one. It was good. I guess it's Joe, so it'll always have like some relevance of good comedy in it. But I personally like. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Garrett, but there's a special of his on
Spotify.
Paramount called Rocky Mountain High,
I've heard it on Spotify.
and it's probably one of my favorite specials he's ever made. It's very good. So.
I haven't listened to the full thing, but
And I feel like in Joe's defense for that special it was a live special, so he had to like be on top of everything. So he was probably pretty fucking nervous, but at the same time, every comedy show's live. So, but
Like he does
whatever.
good on Kill Tony when he
Yeah,
does
he
appearances
does great on
there,
Kill
so
Tony. I love
I
him
almost
on
wonder
Kill Tony.
because he's so used to being on the podcast and stuff. If he like almost needs those other people to bounce off of.
I think-
you know,
I
think
doing
that's-
comedy and stuff.
That's probably what it is.
well, I'm sure when like most of what you're doing with like your time is just sitting there talking to people, because that podcast he probably does more than anything else. I imagine.
he does that like every day.
Exactly. You know, he's up to like what episode like fucking 2,500.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
Well, he posts
Ugh.
like literally. I think the only day he doesn't post a podcast is like Saturday and sometimes Sundays. So he has one at least once a day.
Fucking crazy, dude.
yeah, it's a lot to keep up with. I don't know if I could grind that hard. You know,
I
like,
couldn't,
Me either.
I
Because
couldn't-
he has a full on like family. You know what I mean?
dude.
Like,
I couldn't talk to that many people about that many different things.
that's
Like,
why
a
I
lot.
understand kind of like when like he says some shit that's kind of like out of line. It's like, do you realize like how much he says?
No, I mean
No.
it's just stream of consciousness.
It's like,
you
and,
know, like,
and we're
people-
listening to more of his consciousness than like any other.
And people
human.
always yell at him for saying the same thing that he said like 10 episodes. It's like, dude, of course you're gonna do that. You're talking to 2,000 different people.
Shit, I mean, we do
tells me-
that.
we do that, and we're not even a year into this. So
that just makes me feel like you're being morally consistent. You know, like
Yeah,
if you were to
yeah.
like say different things about the same
You-
topics over and over again, then
you're staying strong on the things you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Joe's always been that way. Like he's always open to new, and that's what I love about podcasting in general, is just like to always be open to what the other person thinks, but always like stay strong in what you believe, but always be open to what they believe as well. Podcasting's interesting, man. Like it's a good thing to get into for just even fun. Like we're doing it for purposes for sure, but like if you just want to do it for like entertainment, it's fun to do.
That Kill Tony shit seems like the funnest, bro. Bringing people up, dude, watching them perform, you know.
Do you watch
Telling
Kill
what they
Tony a
think or
lot?
not.
not a whole bunch. I mostly just see clips of it.
Yeah.
I don't watch
Have
like
you-
full episodes or anything.
So there's this comedian on there from Estonia named Ari Madi.
yeah, Ari's
he's
hilarious.
so fucking funny. Like Tony brought him on like immediately, brought him on as a regular and everything. Him, Cam, I can't remember Cam's last name, but his Instagram is Cam So Funny. So go follow that shit.
That's to
It's
do
so
with the
good.
rocks, right?
Yeah.
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 Rock. And then there's
He
David.
gets pissed. Everybody always asks him in public.
Yeah.
Show me your rock. It's like fuck you. But also here, check him out. Like,
He always has them, bro.
That
Always.
shit's so
And
fucking
then
funny.
David Lucas. Like I genuinely think like that podcast just for comedy purposes is cultivating some
David
really
Lucas
great
is
comedy,
so
like
fucking
comedy
funny,
people.
man.
giving chances to people that wouldn't have it normally.
Like, bro, just think about it's a great idea for a podcast. You just have people put their name in a hat, and if they get pulled up, you go up for 1 minute of stand up, whether you've done it or not. Whether you could be Joe Rogan and go up there just because your name was in that hat. It's like that's pretty cool.
I'm curious, did they sign every audience member up, or is it like you sign up for it?
I think
I
you
think-
probably like when you're at the door. I assume like checking in your ticket, they're like, do you want to go into the drawing to be
okay.
drawn?
Yeah, I
I
think-
imagine it's something like that.
Yeah,
you
I think you like buy a ticket to Kill Tony, and then as you're going in, they're like, there's like a drawing booth on the side, and they're like, if you sign your name, you could be entered in the hat. And
Because
it's like,
I'd be pissed if I was the dude going around with the bucket trying to make sure everybody's
fuck
fucking
that,
shit is up in there, bro.
I'd
I'd be pissed.
I'd make Red Band do that, dude.
Or maybe like when you buy a ticket online, you can like opt in there.
Oh yeah, like there's an option to
Ooh,
like just
probably.
have your once you buy the ticket, you're opted into the hat pull immediately.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way to do it too.
That way
I don't
nobody
know how
has
they
to
do it.
manage it like on the floor.
We got to go see a Kill Tony show though.
I bet that was a hard thing to get going.
We should get Kill Tony at the Motherlode.
Oh, dude, that would be sick. I bet, honestly,
Dude,
would
if,
it be far
I
out?
bet
In a
you
few
it wouldn't be
years-
too far out to have
that's what I'm
something
saying.
like that happen. Yeah.
I'm saying like
Because we
in
got
a-
Bobby Lee.
Yeah,
in
and
a-
Aaron Woodhall, and like I mean, comedians are coming up to Montana, and
and even actors and stuff come up to like Machine Gun and Megan Fox were here shooting a music video a few years ago.
Bunch
So-
of rich people live
yeah.
up here too.
And they're
Tech
shooting.
Nine does. He comes up to Montana.
Mhm.
every
Hippie
year.
Sabotage comes up here all the time.
Shoreline Mafia came up here a few
Pearl
years
Jam.
ago. Mania was telling me someone came up here.
Wiz
for a
Khalifa.
concert. Wiz Khalifa was in Missoula a few years ago, or like a year ago.
A lot of like like huge EDM artists come through Montana as well, like Vector, Frequent.
Dude, like, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people talk about Montana in like a good way.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Even like going back to Joe Rogan, he fucking loves Montana. Of
course he
like,
does.
There's a video on you. Do you know who this video is by? It's like someone that does a whole bunch of like hunting and shit. And he had Joe and Brian Callen on.
I forget his name.
Yeah,
He does
I don't
he
remember
does
either.
that hunting show called with like it's sponsored by Onyx.
Yeah. And then also Anthony Bourdain, when he was doing that, his show came through Butte and through Montana and all that.
He ate at
like,
Casa Grande's.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah!
There's a picture up of him in Casa Grande's. He ate at Lydia's too. Yeah.
If I was like recommending somebody, like a restaurant here in Butte, I'd tell them Casa Grande or the Rib and Chop House if you want steak for sure. Like everywhere else is kind of mid.
I would say, yeah, it depends on like what you want for like steak. I'd definitely recommend Casa Grande's or Rib and Chop. Obviously, if you want pizza, Mackenzie River. If you want like
If you want
Mexican
pizza,
food,
Silver Bow Pizza.
Last time I had Silver Bowl, like I think they changed their sauce recipe or something.
Do you think?
Silverbow's
Well,
good.
still
it
fuck
didn't
with it.
slap. When I first moved here, it was great.
What do
Oh,
you
yeah.
get?
Well, I just get like it depends on the day, I suppose.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
like,
come
my-
on, man.
I always get their thin crust.
He ain't no basic.
I'm
He doesn't
a-
get
I'm
the
a-
same
I love
thing.
thin crust.
You got to get the thin crust
I
Thin
like
crust the best.
at Silver Bow.
Always.
pepperoni, mushrooms, black olives are like my main three.
Shut up.
Dude, unpopular opinion, but like gluten-free crust, it's like it's only in a few pizza places. but
Mackenzie
it-
River has some solid gluten-free
It's
crust.
so fucking good. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just the gluten that isn't there, but it's so good.
Interesting.
It makes like the pizza taste better. Genuinely, I don't know.
There's like a lot of different kinds of gluten-free flours as well. So I wonder
It must
what
be
kind
the
they were
specific
using.
one
Yeah.
they use. Yeah, I used to buy them from Mackenzie River all the time, just because they're smaller for sure, but it's like they're so good.
I wish more restaurants did like that shit that Jimmy John's does, where they'll like just like sell like their bread or stuff like that.
Yeah, like I wish Subway did that, where they just like sold their fucking Italian herbs and cheese bread, bro. That would be so good.
Yeah, get like that at Walmart or some shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that would go crazy.
I'd buy that shit up.
Yeah,
like
me
when
too.
Taco Bell started selling their like hot sauce by like the bottle.
And you can buy like the Doritos Locos taco
Yeah.
shells.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Fucking insane. Doritos Locos Taco might be the best restaurant collab of all time. If we're
On
being
God,
honest.
yeah.
I
Like,
watched
most iconic.
I watched one of the
Might be.
greatest Taco Bell ads like I've ever seen in my life. It was like for the nacho fries. I think it was like a year ago when the nacho fries were coming out. It was like literally.
Oh yeah, that one with fuck, who was in it?
I have no idea, but it was like a
was a
spy
famous
thriller.
ass
Yeah,
motherfucker
it's like
in
a
it, too.
spy thriller, but it's like a 2-minute commercial, and they just do it based off the nacho fry, and it's like a big conspiracy into the nacho fry. But it was such a good commercial. I was like, damn, I wish more companies did commercials like that, because I actually sat there and watched that whole commercial.
That like whole like Super Bowl commercial like outlet bro goes crazy. They'll spend like millions upon millions on the production of those fucking
For like
things.
30 seconds, I think.
Logan
it's like
Paul,
7 million.
Logan Paul talked about it. Yeah, it's like 8 million for 30 seconds. It's insane.
And then like Kanye will like buy one and it'll just be like an iPhone video of him just like, hey guys,
Hey guys,
I blew all the money for this ad on the ad placement.
And what's crazy is like those ads work because people are sick of like all the corporate slop that they get fed, you know, like all of these ads with no character, all these ads that don't take risks. And like, I don't know. Like, remember when the first Old Spice commercial came out? It's like that guy, he's like on the beach. He's like, this is what your man could be, you know? And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Now look at me. Now look at, I'm on a horse, you know? Like,
Some out there shit, dude, but it worked.
It was like a progressive fucking commercial, but the Hump Day commercial with the camel that walks through the
Yeah.
offices and just yells Hump Day the
Yeah.
whole time. Like that's one of the most iconic commercials ever, and
don't
that's
get
that's
stuff
from
like
like
that.
10 years ago.
It's crazy how iconic just like fucking corporate promotion can become.
Oh yeah,
It's like actually insane. Like those old school like Hardee's ads with like the old school like Coca-Cola ads with like the half naked women, just tits ass out pretty much, dude. And they're just like, eat a burger from Hardee's.
Some
You
of
know
those
what I mean? And that's
commercials are
all it
coming back.
is. That's just
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's wild. I'd hate to like be like a director, you know, like aspiring director, and like you just kind of get roped into like the whole corporate commercial game.
Well, promotion's a weird thing nowadays because you can promote in a lot of different ways, and it's like a hit or miss depending on what you do.
Yeah.
So you kind of just got to shoot and see if it hits or misses, you know.
Like in the event scene, all of our like the majority of our marketing is all like Instagram and Facebook. You know, it's all social media. We don't do like radio ads or we don't do TV commercial ads.
That's how the gym is too. Shout out Adonis.
Especially if you're not trying to attract like, I mean, who watches cable anymore?
Exactly.
Really? Who listens to the radio?
Yeah.
It's far and few.
Typically, it's like of the older generation of people that are still consuming media that way. And like for the events that we put together, I don't think they'll be all too interested. But
Exactly.
I mean,
And-
those people are on Facebook and Instagram too, so they could find us.
Exactly.
You know?
And think about it, in 30 years, you know, TV and radio is going to be gone. You know, it's going to be here purely for like nostalgia purposes, guaranteed. You know,
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
fucking-
Like, what
they
if
got
like
rid
not
of, like-
enough people are listening to the radio that won't justify paying all the expenses, like the like power bill, paying for employees.
I
you
think,
know?
I mean, because like, I feel I could see radio sticking around just because, like, I don't know. I feel like there'll always be like people who are like, think like Sirius XM, stuff like that. Like, it's still doing like,
Sirius XM isn't like traditional radio though.
yeah,
It's
that's
it's
true.
also, its like its whole fucking.
That's like a
own
streaming
channel.
service too, pretty
Yeah,
much.
It is.
Yeah.
You
Is
can
that
get
even
that-
run off of like radio?
No,
frequency?
I'm pretty sure it's internet. Like
It's internet now.
off of
Yeah.
like cell phone towers.
It used to be
Damn.
radio and shit, but now it's all internet because Howard Stern's show is still on Sirius.
Howard Stern's still going, dude. That's crazy. How old is
Can't
that
stop,
motherfucker
won't
now?
stop.
He's got to be like.
This has got to be at
70
least 60 or
something.
70. Yeah.
I wish I was like able
Everybody-
to live through the height of the Howard Stern show, dude. That shit seemed like it got insane.
Oh, it
bro.
did. Like, I don't know if I was watching
Strippers
the-
up in the studio, dude,
was-
at like 9 in the morning, bro.
I was watching a documentary. Like, it's called The Dark Side of Comedy on HBO, I want to say, but it's just like about a bunch of comedians that like either like ended up dying or drug overdoses or just didn't end up, like they made it and then fell off or whatever. And like a lot of them ended up going on the Howard Stern show, and he would just like give them a bunch of shit and they would get pissed at Howard. Like the Howard Stern show used to be like controversial as shit.
Yeah.
Like the way people look at JRE nowadays is like how Howard Stern was back in the day.
Times like probably like 100,
Yeah,
honestly.
it was a lot worse back in the day, but everything was. Everyone's just over dramatic nowadays.
I think Rogan has said that he was inspired by the Howard Stern show to start his podcast. He was like, wait, I could just like sit at my house and bullshit with my
Yeah.
friends into some microphones.
And
He knew like the guy who started like the podcast wave too. I forget what his name is, Tom Green or something.
Yeah.
Tom Green like had like the
That's
first
right, the very
first
one.
like
Yeah, it is
actual
Tom
internet
Joe onto it.
podcast. But
That's
it was
what I was
like
thinking of.
he did it in like a talk show kind of setup, but it was still like on the internet.
Kind of like how Andrew Schultz does his
And then
podcast.
you could like go and like look at Joe Rogan on it, talking about like, dude, I love this. Like this is like the future. Like I want to get into this. Da 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 da. And then you flash forward like fucking 20 years later, and
Doesn't like
he's signing.
I'm pretty
$billion
sure
deals.
Howard Stern and Joe Rogan like are beefing all the time.
Yeah.
Like they don't like each other for some reason.
There
I don't
was,
know
like-
what the reason is, but
I watched a video on Howard Stern recently, and it's like I can't remember like everything, but the gist of it was like he wasn't like the nicest guy to work with or something.
I
like
would
that.
believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could 100% believe that. Like,
Don't quote me on it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was like about. Is
yeah.
like, there was like some weird stuff happened. I mean, strippers at 9 a.m. You know, it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a healthy
Well,
work.
I mean, I
workplace.
Yeah, bro.
I can't
For
remember.
sure.
Can't remember the exact comic it was, but he would like have him get super drunk and drugged up on his show before going on, and then like give him a whole bunch of shit for doing that, even though he was basically the one having him do that because he would drink and do these drugs with him. But the one comic would just go so overboard, and it's like you're. And then one day they got into a fight, and him and one of the comic and one of the producers got in like this big ass fight. It's a viral clip somewhere, but I'll try and think of the comic's name.
The entertainment space used to be so much different, man.
Oh yeah,
Wild West.
And like in some ways, it's never been more accessible to like get involved and like
Oh,
put your
yeah.
own kind of thing together. But at the same time, it's like also hard to break through because of how established the industry is.
oh yeah.
you
and
know?
it's so oversaturated now too, just because
places.
everybody.
Like
can
in
do it.
Montana specifically, it's not too oversaturated. Like there are definitely competing events
Yeah.
in this state, but it's not like you go to a place like Denver where there's like 12 shows going on in one weekend, you know, and it's like, how do you split up like a scene like that? It's kind of difficult. So
Or imagine
Yeah.
like getting established in a place like LA.
It's almost
no,
impossible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you got to be real loud when you get there, you know, like fucking rent out a U-Haul, set up speakers in the back of it, plaster your name on the side of it, and just like drive down or some shit.
And
But-
even then, dude, fucking how many other people are doing that at the same
Yeah,
exact
exactly.
fucking
Like,
time?
I mean, that's stealing like Steve-O's playbook. You know, that's what he did to announce his tour and shit. So
Yeah,
it's just
dude, like,
crazy.
to blow up in like those big ass cities, you just have to be different than what everybody else is doing. Like that, even like going back to comedy, that's why like all these comedy nowadays is like so oversaturated as well, because there's just so many comics just posting their clips on TikTok and Instagram and then going viral off that, and then they get a special and they get to go on tour and all this. There's like, I would probably say this confidently. I could almost guarantee you right now in the U.S. there are over 100 comics like headline touring right now,
That's insane.
and that is never been heard of in the comedy industry.
It's kind of like, you watch South Park, right?
I used to a bunch.
Remember
yeah.
that one South Park episode where it was like Butters, like his whole thing was like, oh, The Simpsons already did this.
Oh yeah.
The Simpsons
Yeah,
already did
yeah.
this. That's kind of like how, like, I don't know, like I feel like the entertainment space is right now, because everybody's doing so much. You know what I mean? Within like podcasts and skits and comedy and like movies, where it's like you have like an original idea and it's like, oh shit, that's not even really, like, that's been done before. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that phenomenon too, where like two movies in like the same year will like come out that are like pretty much like the same idea, kind of different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
mean-
wild how like fucking how much shit is just getting created and pushed out, how much like content is being uploaded to
even-
YouTube every minute.
Even think about it this way, like just look at like the superhero movie industry right now. James Gunn just announced like what he wants to do for the DC movie schedule, and it's I'll have to look this up to get it completely accurate, but it's like 2 live action movies every year, 2 animated movies, 2 shows on HBO, and then like something else that's animated as well. And I'm like, that's a shitload of fucking content for 1 year. That's like that's every year. He's doing 2 movies that like every single year. And I'm like, dude, that's a fuckload of movies.
Yeah, but like once you find something that works, you know, and you get into that flow state, like it would almost be harder to walk away from that for an extended
Yeah.
period of time, you know.
And I mean, I'm sure it's not even James Gunn like per se making that schedule. I'm sure it's like his executive heads being like, you have to make this much money this year to keep going, and if you don't, you're gonna get fired. And it's like, so I also get it from that point, because that's where Marvel got fucked over, is because Disney was making them make 10 things every year, and so they couldn't put enough effort into one thing, every single thing.
They're like
So-
producing like 6 different movies at one time.
Exactly. And it's like, how is the one guy that's supposed to be controlling all this in all those movies? Like, how is he directing all these movies? He's not. He just has to trust that those people making the movies and the shows are doing them correctly, which, no offense to them, they're not. Like, I've been watching the Disney Plus fucking Marvel bullshit for years now, and it's so terrible. There's some good ones, but oh my God, it's so bad.
I've
become
never
a lot-
paid for Disney Plus.
I have it because like it's so funny now. King of the Hill, Family Guy,
Oh,
Rick
yeah.
and Morty. That's all on Disney Plus now.
Are you serious?
Because
Yeah.
well, it's because Disney bought Fox, Hulu, ESPN. Like they basically bought everything that isn't over $1 billion.
They bought
company.
Hulu, and Hulu like kind of like had the streaming rights to Adult Swim
Yeah.
and like all that shit. And then Disney outright bought Fox.
So frustrating, man. Like that our government doesn't step in and be
Like,
like, this is a
literally,
monopoly.
it's monopolization, like right in front of our very eyes.
And they know it, and they don't care because it's making the government billions of dollars.
And then they'll, like,
they
come
do
at-
know part of it is because like these industries are newer, and like the way that like streaming came up, you know, they haven't had time to regulate like the way.
And-
Because it is a different industry than like traditional television, you can't go in there and like just apply the same rules
Yeah.
to it and
Yeah.
expect it
And-
to work the same way.
And I've listened to like a lot of actors and people talk about like streaming services compared to like movie theaters, and it's like a lot of them just prefer you go watch it in the theaters, because the streaming services don't pay nearly as much, because you can't pay for a view. You know, like it's hard to transfer views into actual money when it's just people watching it and paying for that subscription, which is only a set amount every month, and there's a million different things to watch on that platform.
That's why like the music industry is fucked too, and you know this obviously. Like how many streams you need on Spotify to make like $2,000?
how many streams you need to make $5.
Dude,
Like-
it's fucking insane as compared to like how many real physical album sales.
Well, and
you
it's
know?
crazy too because the people that are getting the most plays are getting like a higher like amount per play as well because they're seen as like a higher value, artist or whatever. And like that really should just be like a flat rate across the board. Like
Exactly.
and
That's
that
what
that should be like easily like accessible, that information too, because it's not.
That's what YouTube's used to be. It used to be a set amount per every, few thousand views, you get this set amount of money. And now it's different for who you are as a creator on YouTube. And mostly creators nowadays don't really rely on YouTube or anything, or even TikTok or Twitch. They just rely on the sponsors from all that. And
Like Patreon.
yeah. They just rely on like the constant few bucks they're getting. And like the sponsors nowadays pay so much fucking money. Like it's absurd. Even for podcasts, like I'm sure you'll be watching a podcast and be like, why is there 10 different ads for this one podcast? It's like because he's getting paid like $1 million for that one episode just because of all those ads. It's like that's how it is nowadays. It's just crazy.
Or like think like if you get like big enough in that space, like on some like Joe Rogan type shit.
Yeah.
You're signing like $300 million like
Literally.
streaming rights deals. You know what I mean? And like your Spotify's taking your podcast and promoting it instead of like promoting these smaller ones, you know, and it keeps the top the same.
Yep.
You know?
Well, yeah, there's a reason JRE's #1 on the podcast thing on Spotify every year. It's because it's what Spotify pushes the most.
It's what Spotify pays the most money for.
Yeah, it's what they spend the most money on is for Joe to do his podcast every day.
It's like when like fucking Drake releases an album and fucking he has like a deal with Spotify to promote the absolute shit out of it every time somebody clicks on the app. You know what I mean? Like it takes away from all those smaller artists, you know? And the only way a smaller artist gets in is if they like sign one of those fucked up ass deals with like a major label.
Yeah, or they go like do a feature with one of those bigger artists, or like go on those bigger podcasts and try and promote themselves from within that industry. Like that's really the only way to do it nowadays, is go on bigger shows than what yours is.
Yeah, the best model that like newer artists can follow nowadays is to like try and blow up themselves on like Instagram and TikTok and all these platforms, and then like just try and be independent. It's not too hard to like work with independent contractors in like all these different cities to plan events and stuff.
Yeah.
So like that is, in my opinion, the best way for like newer artists to try and like start doing stuff, because these labels won't even like look at you if like you're not putting down numbers on social media nowadays too.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating.
It's-
It takes the artistry away in a way, you know. It's like because talent and popularity aren't necessarily like, it's not a Venn diagram that matches up.
Yeah. And you were talking about this a little earlier, like just being in Montana is like a great resource for like what we're doing and what you're doing, just because like people are so much more open to hear what you have to say and like what your creative is, because they haven't really had that experience.
It's not the fucking 56th time they've heard the same shit this week.
Exactly. So they're like a lot more willing to just hear you out and be able to do what you want to do and let you, perform venues or do whatever you want to do.
Do you see the market here getting oversaturated anytime soon?
Like in the next 10 years possibly, but not to the extent of like other places,
Like Denver
Yeah,
or somewhere like Washington.
Like right now I'd say the event industry here is still like super accessible and not too difficult to get involved with if like you're passionate and ambitious and like you put yourself in situations where like you'll be asked to help and that sort of thing.
Yep.
But give it like 10 more years and like these companies like will probably be more established, but then again you're always going to find newer companies that are being born every year.
Exactly.
And like so like just fucking be involved, see what events are going on, go out to them, say hi, fucking learn who's promoting them, learn who's performing at them, because like
learn who's running it.
You'll see those names pop up time and time again, especially in a place like Montana.
It's
sure.
It's like all networking in a place like this. Like the more
everywhere,
the more
Oh,
like
yeah.
the more people you know, the better you're gonna do. And like just the more you talk to random people about random things that you're doing, the more likely they are to just help you because you've already talked to them about it.
I'd say success within the entertainment industry is entirely dependent upon who you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
And
for
the
sure.
more-
And the
more
work that you
people-
put in before
yeah.
you meet that person.
Exactly. Because you could meet, if like fucking, we met somebody like fucking I don't know, somebody random like James Cameron right now. We wouldn't know what the fuck to do with that.
No.
No, he'd be like, "Oh, these guys, they're like," he would see your ambition, but be like, "He's not like they're not technically there yet," you know? Like,
Yeah, they could give up in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just crazy how many levels there are to it. Too.
You need to establish yourself on like the minuscule level, then a small level, then medium, and then you can start going into the bigger levels of everything. It's like every level you go is just more people you have to learn.
And even when you hear like those overnight success stories too about people who like blew up in a night, you know, you never hear about like the fucking
What
4 or
happened to
5
him
years of
after.
work that
Yeah.
went into that and all the decisions that led to that one decision.
Yeah.
like Billie Eilish was accused of being an industry plant, but like her and her brother like practiced making music
Yeah,
together.
there's
for
videos
years
of that.
before, and, like,
Years.
yeah,
Like people don't, I feel like a lot of people don't remember when that song Ocean Eyes was blowing up on TikTok and every single white girl with blue eyes in the world would post a fucking Musical.ly to that shit, bro.
I remember.
That was when fucking Billie Eilish was like 16 years old, dude. You know, they were making that shit out of like their bedroom, you know? Like everybody fucking has put in that work.
like
for
instead
the
of
most
being
part.
bitter towards them for their success, you should see that as an inspirational story for yourself.
That
Yeah,
shit
like-
like that can still happen.
Yeah,
Literally,
like,
yeah. Like
I
try
can
and follow
make-
their model. What did they do to blow up like that? You know, and
Exactly.
like at the core of it, having good art, like making a good product, is like the most important thing because that's what people like come to you for. They're not going to come to you because you're good at promoting yourself or any of that. You know?
People can see right through shit, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of like these like corporate, like huge corporate creative entities will kind of assume the audience is a little bit more naive than they actually are, you know? But I feel like everybody for the most part can see through if something's genuine or if you're just full of shit. You know what I mean? Like art resonates with like everybody in a way.
Yeah, yeah. I always like to say that music is like one of our few universal languages that we have as
Yeah.
a species. You know,
Yeah.
it's like everybody understands what a groove feels like, and like everybody can feel a beat. You know,
Yeah.
like even if you're like you can't hear like what are those like they're tone deaf. You know, that can't hear
Oh,
melodies.
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think they can still hear groove and like
Yeah,
like
definitely. You
feel
can
feel a rhythm.
feel the melody and like
Yeah.
you get the point of
Well,
yeah.
and music is kind of like entirely based off of math, you know, and
Oh, for
math
sure.
is one of the few like true universal languages we share, you know, like mathematic principles, all that, like the 4/4 rhythm, you know what I mean? Like all that kind of
Well,
shit.
most music is in 4/4.
Yeah. Is there any viral songs that are in like 3/4?
Not like viral. I know there are like some very popular songs.
We can play them right through the headphones.
Let's see.
Connected
we'll get
via
copyrighted
Bluetooth.
for the most part.
Only in Russia last time.
We'll listen to it and then we'll do it a cappella for everybody.
Facts.
Bet. I'm down for that.
One of my favorite tracks that I've been listening to that's 3/4 is called Dreamsters by Tipper. That probably wouldn't get you demonetized either.
Nice.
But let's see, viral 3/4 songs. My brain's not working at full capacity right now.
Dreamsters by Tipper.
Yeah.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, sure. This song is in 3/4.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. What's really cool about 3/4 is that you can feel it as 4/4 if you want to. You know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like there's still like that bounce. But
Yeah.
you notice when I got to 4, it didn't match. You know,
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1.
Okay.
2, 3, 2,
Yeah.
2. So that's 3/4. But then once the drums kick in, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It feels like 4/4, but it's still a 3/4 track.
That's crazy how that works.
It's like how our brains understand music.
I wonder at what
There's
point.
also go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
There's also music that's been like proved. There's this song called Weightless on Spotify. It's like 8 minutes long. That's like if you have anxiety, like in the moment, if you listen to that song, it reduces your anxiety like as you're listening to it. I've tried it and it does work.
There's like that certain like frequency of music too that like. Do you know what I'm talking about, Eric? That certain frequency of music that can like.
It's more pseudoscience than anything, but I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. There's like binaural frequencies. I have a buddy in Idaho who was studying binaural frequencies for a little bit, and like he opened up like to have a couple people do some tests, and so it's just like playing two notes that are like slightly out of key from each other, and you know like how like two notes when they are supposed to sound good together, they resonate in a cool way, in a nice way that sounds good to our ears. But if you were to play two notes that aren't meant to play together, there's like a weird resonance between it. And like actually back in like the early medieval days when like guitar players would mess up and play that on accident, they would get accused of being devil worshippers because it was known as like the devil's chord, you know?
Damn.
Really?
But yeah, so you could like if you play those binaural frequencies at a really low hertz, so like a really low sub note, then there's like some thank you.
Of course.
There's like some studies that will say like it can help you sleep better, it can help you enter REM sleep earlier, that sort of thing.
There's also music that like helps you get into lucid dreaming as you're falling asleep. If you're listening to this music, you have a higher chance of being able to lucid dream and stuff like that.
That shit's
like,
never fucking worked for me. Ever.
I've never been able to lucid dream.
I've done it a few times. It's pretty dope.
What did you do?
Wish.
You
did fucked up shit,
Suck
huh?
your own dick. That's
Crazy
what I do,
shit.
you know, like
Dude, you run around. You've like it's a crazy feeling because you have complete control of everything and you can manifest things.
is it kind of like Inception?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Dude.
you literally feel like Inception, like because you can manifest.
Do you know you're
what
dreaming?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the whole point of lucid dreaming. Is you
the
know
whole
it's a
point
dream,
is
so
that you
can-
know you're dreaming and you can control what you're doing in that dream. I've only been able to do it like twice, but it's fun.
I'm jealous.
It's fun.
Yeah, I've listened to like
I have to
those
take
fucking-
drugs.
I know one of
one
like
way.
one of the memories I have from him is like just being able to like I fought off like a whole group of army people. It was really cool because I had complete control of my body and I was able to just freeze them. So I just fought all of them. It was really fun.
It's kind of like a pussy way to go about it.
No, it's pretty cool.
Freezing them, they can't fight back.
I was like flying around like
It's like some D&D shit, you know.
Black Widow.
Dude, I've always kind of wanted to get into D&D. I won't lie, bro.
I've always wanted to as well. It's hard to find people that I would want to play with, you know, because like I've had some people invite me to play with them, and
I've always been interested.
We should
by
get a
it.
circle going.
No,
yeah, let's do it.
No, I actually.
I
I've
will
always
dungeon
been-
master for you guys.
I've always been
Yeah.
interested in it, but it's always just been like, I don't know if I would ever. I'd probably do it once, but I don't know if I'd keep doing it.
Yeah,
It'd be
I
something
think
I'd be
probably
down to
do
try.
One
Yeah.
full playthrough, and then be
I'd do
like,
one.
maybe once a year type of deal.
I'd be down
or
for
like-
something like
Ooh,
that.
Yeah.
Like, because I always go back and
I'm
watch the
nerd.
Lord of the Ring trilogy like once a year, so maybe like
Nerd
around
out
that
for
time
once
of
a
the
year.
year.
We
you
could
know,
like do it too, where like we like record it and like we dress up and shit.
Really?
And,
Oh,
like,
for sure. D&D's blowing up online right now. so-
Exactly, dude. We could do it like funny too, and like get fucked up and like smoke through it.
Yeah, actually, I don't think there's any D&D groups online that are like getting super sauced up while they do it.
See, we got it.
Turn it into a drinking game.
End of the
like-
year, we're gonna run that.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll get some other nerds in here for
Oh,
that.
I guarantee you, Jess would be down.
Jess would be
Phil
down.
would be down.
I got a
Bill's
buddy in
down.
Helena who might be interested.
Sick.
so-
Perfect.
We'll get some people. I know a few nerds.
And you know how to do it all, right?
I've played a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. So if
Okay.
you guys are
And
familiar
that's
with
all
that
based
game,
off
it
of
is-
D&D, right?
It is the D&D rule set with like a
Okay.
couple of like homebrew rules on top of it. But
I've
yeah.
never played Baldur Gates 3, but
It's
a
fucking
lot
sick.
a lot of gamers talk about it all the time. So I'm like, it must be a great game.
I have over 500 hours in that game.
Jesus, dude.
What's the game you have the most hours on ever?
Rocket League.
How many?
Or no, Minecraft, but I don't know how many I have in Minecraft.
If you had to guess.
In Minecraft, like about 10K.
Mine's a like,
Just I played from the time I was like 10 years old up until I was 18, like every day. And I had like a Minecraft YouTube channel and shit growing up.
Damn.
So,
Is it
like,
still out there?
No, I'd made it private.
Fuck. We were about to shout it out.
Yeah.
Every
Nah, you wish.
gain
Dude,
100
I do.
subscribers out of nowhere.
Imagine- You blow up overnight, bro.
I did like a lot of factions, if you guys are familiar.
I remember the factions.
I did like some DayZ stuff.
I love Daisy.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think the most hours I've ever played on a game was Tom Clancy's Breakpoint. Or no, not Breakpoint. It was Ghost Recon, the first one that came out.
I thought you were going to say Rainbow Six. As soon
No,
as you said Tom Clancy.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I was about to call you a sweat.
I don't like Rainbow Six that much.
That's Rainbow
fun,
Six
but
is
yeah,
the
people take and choose.
sweatiest
Yeah.
game of all fucking.
If you could
time.
play against regular people, it would be dope. But
Even
you play
casual
against
play.
the sweatiest goddamn
Casual play
players.
is not for casual
No.
people.
Well, the
bro.
issue is the player base has dropped off so heavy that the only people still playing it are like those super
the
dedicated.
kids that have been
or
playing
like
it for
hackers
years.
players, you know. So especially when you get into like casual lobbies with low level players, the odds of you being with a cheater are like so fucking high. It's like, have you seen the cheating problem on Escape from Tarkov?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
It's crazy. Like
It's insane.
over like 60-70% of players are cheating in that game.
Yeah, it's so
Call of Duty's having that same issue right now too, where like just like it's over 50% of their players are cheaters too. And it's like, bro, it's so bad. And they just announced like a week ago that if after they re-release Verdansk for like a month, if they don't get their player base, like their retaining player base back, they're just gonna discontinue Warzone altogether. I was like,
good.
shouldn't have made it a shitty game then.
Fuck that game. It should have died 3 years ago.
It was good when they had Verdansk in it, and then they added the anti-cheat, but they added the anti-cheat way too late. Way too fucking late.
No, once your player base loses trust like that, they're not gonna go back.
I'm not
very
going
easily.
back.
Yeah.
Like, I'll play probably a few games of Verdansk when it comes out, but I'm not like gonna sweat on it like I was years ago.
You guys ever play Rocket League?
Oh yeah, Rocket League's fun, but it's also our buddy Noah plays.
Oh
it.
my god, dude.
He's so sweaty at it. Oh my god.
I got
It's
super
so
into
fun.
Rocket League. That's my second.
Are you a
most-
sweat?
Yeah, I have like around 2,500 hours in that
Nice.
game, and I got to Champion 2, which isn't like that impressive for the amount of time that I had. I feel like
I still bet playing with you would piss me the fuck off.
probably
Bet I would do it once and never again.
we could play on the same team.
We could
though.
play like a trio.
Facts, yeah. We'll play on the same team.
Then it would be fun for
Is there?
everybody.
There's a quads
Yeah,
on
there
there,
is.
isn't?
It's
Yeah, we could
pretty
play. We
chaotic,
could play us
but-
three and Noah have two major sweats on our team.
Noah plays
we
like
can just
every
do,
day.
a 2v2 tournament, and like me and Noah can't be on the same team or something.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We
Yeah,
can do
dude.
that.
Noah probably has like damn near just as many hours. Dude.
every night I see him playing Rocket League, like every single night
It's
for a few
insane.
hours. So
I still have friends like that, like people that I met through playing Rocket League, because
Yeah.
I used to play in like a minor esports league for it.
Oh damn.
And so like I have a couple of friends on Discord and Steam from those days, and like they'll still play Rocket League, and I'm like,
Nice.
God damn, bro, didn't you have like a family? Like,
dude, like I'll still play like those Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Breakpoint games. They're like the last one's like 7 years old now, and I still go in and play it. There's that when you make a good game and you get people to keep coming back to them, that's just what I consider a great game, you know.
Black Ops 2 is like going through a revival right now of people playing like online
Well,
and shit too.
they're supposedly remastering it in like a year or two, and then making a continuation of Black Ops 2, like what happens right after.
That's how
Black
you
Ops
know
2.
they're losing so
Yep.
much money.
Yeah, they're
Oh yeah, here. I got you.
oh, it's for my
usually
Zin.
usually we have it set out over here. This podcast is brought to you by me. It is mine, my podcast and mine only.
I had a double decker going on in there with my Zins, so I had to
Nice.
spit it out. I never double decky.
What flavor you rocking?
I've always been a spearmint guy.
Criminal.
What do you like?
I hate
He
Zin.
doesn't like Zins.
My first experience was in. I put like 4 or 5 in, and
Well,
they were
that's-
wintergreen.
User error.
That's probably
Yeah.
why you don't like Zins, bro.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was like 14 years old, dude.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've all had a similar story.
Yeah. I've done it before.
I puked. I had hot and cold sweats. Yeah.
That happened to me when I was in like 3rd grade. My older brother like snuck me some chew, and I ended up throwing up, and I was like getting hot and cold flashes, and that was brutal. My mom couldn't find out, you know. Like,
Yeah, you couldn't go like be like, "Hey, mom."
I smoked a Cuban cigar in like 7th grade.
Jesus Christ.
And that shit sucked so bad, bro.
Dude, where'd you
don't
get a
they use-
Cuban from?
Don't they
your
use
dad?
cocoa leaves on
Yeah.
Cuban cigars?
Yeah, I'm pretty
So that
sure.
means you
You smoked crack?
kind of, in a way, like
Sure.
the most
It was, like,
natural
the
form.
more
of it.
Yeah, for
natural
sure.
form of crack you could possibly smoke. But yeah, I remember it was like 7th or 8th grade when I was in that hick phase that I was in, and we were in trucks all the time.
I wouldn't say Cuban cigars like a hick thing, man. That's like
No,
your dad
One of
had.
those-
I bet you. I assume you
Wasn't-
stole that from your dad.
it wasn't mine. No.
Oh, shit.
It was one of the rich buddy kids.
Yeah.
Big ass truck, nice truck kids.
One
you
of
know?
them private school motherfuckers. Yee.
Not even a private school kid, just one of those rich, like big ass, brand new truck kids. Me and Braden knew them. I'm not gonna shout them out, but
Say their name.
nope.
Colby beef.
That'd be crazy. That guy's insane. That guy's insane.
Facts.
on moms.
Wonder what he's up to.
What else has been going on in the life of Mr. Dunbar?
Oh gosh, just working on like music and like visual stuff. We got a show coming up next month at Club Zebra in Bozeman.
Who's that for?
The headliner is Tynan. He's like a heavier dubstep kind of guy.
Cool. You should just tell us like all your shows because we have nothing to do half the
That
time.
one next month is the one with
That's
the
what I'm
wide
telling you
screen.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, we
want
should
me
go
to
to
see
that
that
because I
one.
want to see how that looks.
What's really cool about that show is we're doing a quadraphonic sound system.
What's that mean?
So typically, like your sound system at any show is going to be a point source or a line array, and it's going to be like, like say your speakers are here and here pointed towards you guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A
Quad is
quadraphonic,
like
there's
both
like,
ways, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
So, but the subs, they're going to be on one side of the room, and then so we have our mains on this corner and on this corner doing
That's
like the
gonna
mids
be
and the
cool.
highs. And it is very cool. We what we did was we 3D mapped the space of the basement of Club Zebra, and so we know like the perfectly optimal location for each speaker, so that they don't cause
cool.
phase issues with each other and that sort of thing.
That's super cool.
It's very very cool.
Have you ever heard of helicopter sound, like helicopter speakers? I was in this house in Helena, like up on those rich hills in Helena, and this guy had like a movie theater with helicopters. Like the sound would go around like a helicopter, but it like made sense for the video he was showing. It would like go around in a circle all around the room, but it was just so interesting. I was
That's
like,
like a
"God damn."
full surround sound system.
Yeah.
That's
And
insane.
he called it like helicopter. It wasn't surround. It was like the new version of surround sound, I guess. But it was super interesting. It was like ceiling speakers. But I was like, damn, that's super cool. We should look into doing something like that.
That
I
shit's
have a
gotta
buddy-
cost a rack.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, bare minimum, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Like, if
this
you're
was
doing
in
that,
this
like-
was when
like
I was in a mansion
Just a
in
couple of
Helena.
the speakers would maybe cost a couple $1,000s.
Yeah,
Dude.
I was in like a movie theater in a basement of a mansion when I saw this.
I have a friend who's designing an 11.2 surround sound Dolby Atmos system in his basement right now.
That's
Yeah,
So cool.
there's like only a handful of systems in the United States that are like a full 11.2 system, and they're mostly like in California, like where they like test out movies and that sort
Yeah.
of thing. Like not every movie is even mastered to an 11.2 standard. Like most of them are 7.2.
Holy fuck.
Yeah,
sound stuff's so cool.
How much does that gonna run him?
I haven't asked.
I wouldn't.
I bet he tries not to think about it. I'm sure.
I mean,
Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
if he's better off, I'm sure he's not too worried.
That man's
about
got
it.
to love his movies.
for sure.
That
yeah.
man's got to
And
be
music.
the biggest film music nut.
I feel like
this side of the Mississippi.
anyone that like puts like a full movie theater with like good sound system in their house or wherever, it's just pretty dedicated to watching movies.
So I don't even think he's like a huge movie guy. I think he's just like a really big tech guy.
Yeah, like
He
sound
just-
guys,
yeah,
tech guys.
yeah.
Yeah, they do that shit too.
He likes the high end.
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, because the tech people always know what the best shit is, so they want the best shit because they know like if they have the mid shit, they're like, "Ah, I know I can have like
I can
12
hear
times
it.
better.
I can
yeah,
hear it.
Yeah.
I have 10 times better the quality.
How long until like a system like that's out of date?
Oh God, it probably like
a few years?
I mean, nowadays, no, realistically, like I would probably say 25 years.
That's pretty
sick.
damn
That's
yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
That's pretty damn
a long
good.
time. And I mean, even then, like you might have to replace. Like at that point, you just be doing like regular upkeep on your
Yeah.
equipment. You
Yeah.
know, like realistically, that equipment should be fine for a very long time. You know, like it'll sound great for fucking ever. Pretty
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
as long as it's in operation. So.
As long as you don't blow it, like blow the speakers and stuff.
Well, and even
like
then,
that, yeah.
all you have to do is replace the cones inside of them. and
Oh,
that's-
really? Okay.
Yeah, that's not too big of
Nice.
a deal.
See, I don't know much about sound or speakers or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna have my bosses call you a few days ago for those speakers in the gym, but I don't think they did.
That's okay. I'm not gonna cry about it.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, they
It's
seem to
their
have
loss
it,
more than mine. so.
exactly. They seem to have it figured out, and it's like I told them it's not my problem anymore. So
You're like, I found a guy.
it's like I found a guy. That's as far as I'm going.
Utilize them if you need to.
Because the other day they just like stopped working, so it was like just call this guy. I'm done working on him. I'm not grabbing the ladder from next door and climbing
What kind of
up there.
speakers are they?
I'd have to take a picture of the brand, but I don't remember. It's not a brand I've ever heard of though.
Probably
I'll
some
take a
shiny shit.
I'll take a picture of the speaker. There's two of them, and the main thing I want to do is to be able to connect both of them at once. But aren't able to do that. So it's gay.
You need a mixing board.
Yeah.
Do they have XLR input?
I don't think I would bet they
Do they have these?
Yeah, I would bet they do. They're
Okay.
big. They're bigger speakers, so I would
Okay.
assume they have an XLR
me too.
input. Yeah.
Are they just straight up like mounted to the wall?
They're not mounted. They're on a shelf in the corner of the walls, like
Okay.
high, like 10 feet up.
Well, if you ever get annoyed with it, you could always like video call me too, and I'll just
Okay,
fucking-
cool, yeah.
I'll just help you over the phone.
Honestly, yeah. When I'm there tomorrow, I'll go up there and take pictures of everything for them.
Some shit you could wrap your head around.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure, like, if I had the knowledge and cared about it that much, I could look up a few YouTube videos and probably figure it out and, like, have them buy me the shit that I need. But it's like, I don't care. I have so much other things to do there.
No, that shouldn't be like a manager's problem. to deal
Exactly.
with.
It's like, that's not even my problem. As long as they work when I'm there, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Easy shit.
Well, if they work when you're there, it's probably just their user error, you know.
No, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the other day when I was there, they just stopped working and I was like, just call Eric. And then I came back and they were working. So I was like, they must have figured it out. So whatever.
Do you guys do like wireless, like Bluetooth connections?
Yeah,
here?
it's
I wonder if maybe that's dropping.
I
or-
think that's what it is like it's wireless Bluetooth to the iPhone that we use. And it's like, I think that's what it is like, I wish we could just have it, both of them connected upstairs to like a tablet or something like that. And then like, if you want to change music, go upstairs and use the tablet.
Or if you had like, if that tablet was using Spotify, you could have the same account logged in at your front desk, and they could just do it right there.
And that's what the other thing I want. I want them to log into a Spotify so I can do that, because then I could change the music from here too.
Yeah.
Like I could do what Michael does with the Copper King and
Oh,
just
dude, I'll
switch
run
all
the-
the music.
Like for those MNOA guys, I ran like the music for them, like here, like the whole night while I was
Oh,
here.
remotely? That's hilarious.
I actually
love that.
went in while we were at Mania's house, and because I was gonna make a joke, and I was like, "This is a type of music Clint would make," and it was the Baby Shark trap.
Yeah, and he
mix.
started
and I
playing
started
it over
playing
the
it for like a
speakers.
second or two over the speakers. They didn't notice, thank the Lord, but I realized because I saw like at the bottom CKEV, and I was like, "Oh fuck."
Dude, that's hilarious. I never thought about doing that, but that's a good idea. Whenever I had to leave and like there was a group in there for like however long, I would just like queue up however much music. I
Yeah, that's
needed
what I
Yeah.
was doing.
on Spotify.
Now I just got a dongle from I forgot her name again.
Bree.
Jesus Christ. I got a dongle from Bree that I just plug into the aux and I just tell them to play their own music.
That's smart.
And most of the time they'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Really? I never had that happen.
Really?
Like, everybody always wanted me to just handle it up in the booth.
What I want to
fair.
what I want to do at the gym is like have a tablet like mounted to the wall and like in a case or something.
Oh, that's
so like
smart.
people can pick their own music or do whatever they want with the music, but then
Like one of those jukebox things that you just don't got to pay for.
yeah, exactly. Like it's like so people can stop complaining about the music that's playing. It's like, oh, you can go pick whatever music you want. I could care less. It's like
As long as there's not like one dude adding 40 songs to queue for
Yeah,
his whole
it's like-
fucking workout.
it's like we'll always keep an eye on it. Make sure you only add like a few songs.
One
but-
song per person.
and that's the thing. Most people bring headphones to that type of stuff anyway.
If
so.
you're going to the gym and you're not bringing headphones or AirPods or something.
My thing is, if you complain about the music that's playing at a gym, don't go to that fucking gym. Like,
Just work out at home.
or bring your own headphones. Like, I'm not gonna switch the music we play at our gym because the music we play fits the vibe of the gym. So I'm not gonna switch it for you. Sorry.
Do you have hopes? This is a very deep question. Do you have hopes that your child will pursue the same career field that you have?
Of course, I think every parent would say that. You know?
Yeah.
Unless like maybe they're an accountant and they're like they have no soul and they're like I don't want my kid to do this,
Yeah.
or whatever. But
I think it goes two ways too. Like, if you're a social media personality, you don't really want your kid to get into that. If you're popular enough, I guess. Like all these media stars are having kids nowadays, like Logan Paul and a few others obviously are having kids now, and I've heard them say like, oh yeah, I don't want my kid like in YouTube or in any of that stuff because it's just like I know what it did to me.
yeah.
It's like there's probably a few different professions that do that.
See, for me, like as long as it's what he wants to pursue, then
Yeah.
like I'm all on board. Like I have so much knowledge that I can bestow upon you. But if you're more interested in like being a lawyer or whatever the fuck, go for it.
That-
ball out.
But
That's how
yeah,
my
exactly,
dad.
ball out.
That's how my dad was, because my dad, like, I can't say this for like 100% sure, but he wanted me to like take over his company when I became a certain age, and like also be inclined in like car mechanics and stuff, and that's just not things that I was interested in doing. But he was perfectly fine with me doing what I wanted to do, and he seems like he's perfectly fine with me doing this type of stuff. So I'm like, that's all I care about.
It's the healthiest way to go about it.
Yeah.
You know, my mom always said when I was growing up, she's like, I'm not raising my kids, I'm raising adults. You know, like just because you're a kid now, like you're going to be an adult later, and like the way you want to live your life, like you're going to do that no matter what I say.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like from instead of raising a kid, you're raising the kid to be an adult.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's your job as a parent to teach your child how to be an adult, especially because like our school systems don't do that, you know, like, and we shouldn't ask our school systems to do that.
This is random, but did you hear Trump's like working to defund the education program or dismantle the education program?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's like,
federal
that's so
funding.
ridiculous, dude.
He's cutting all federal financial aid to school districts.
That's not going to pass.
I mean, our teachers are already having to pay out of pocket for school supplies.
That's
so like, I don't know how you're
ridiculous.
going to cut the budget
Even
much
more.
It's
further,
literally
yeah.
like a common joke.
The thing schools
little paid teachers are.
The thing school needs is more federal funding, not less. Like if you want to fix the education system, it needs more money so they can pursue more like worthy subjects for kids to learn.
Yep.
But they don't. So whatever.
Teachers should get paid roundabout as much as like nurses get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like $60K a year, like base,
Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Would be appropriate for a teacher, I would say.
But most of them are having to work like jobs in the summer, even if you're like tenure, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing you could do.
Well, and like their workload is so much higher too, you know, like I have a friend who's a professor at the college here. And like when he was hired on, they're like, you know, you're going to have 45 hours of work a week, but he's actually up to like 75 hours in work a week because of like his class load. Then he does like field trip type things to Yellowstone to like take measurements and stuff. So he's like out here doing stuff that's relevant to his work at the school and doing his normal school workload at the same time.
Because
So
in
it's
order
just
to be like 45 hours is if you want to be like the minimum of a teacher, kind of like a shitty teacher, you know, where like you're not interacting with your students, you know, you're not spending any time with them, no one-on-one, nothing like that, no field trips, no actually teaching them. You know, if you want to be an actual teacher, you know, you have to put in that work.
Yeah, and like you said, you have to care. You know, you have to care about the success of the kids,
and think about how many people have like gotten into the teaching field, you know, because they actually did care at the time, and then just over time because of like the lack of respect that they've gotten.
Curriculums they have to teach.
Exactly, like they have no creative freedom.
No,
they have no ability to live like a meaningful life financially, you know, unless they're doing something outside of it or unless they got some sweet deal or some sweet gig.
Doing like private tutoring on the side. Or,
and even then that's still pulling more hours. You know, it's insane. And it makes you realize like, okay, that's why most teachers, like, I'm sure it's been the same for you. It's the same for mostly everybody. Most of the teachers I've had throughout my life did not help me at all. You know, they were simply there to collect their check. That is it. You know, I've had I could count on my hands the amount of teachers that I've had that like actually legitimately have made that effort to care about where my future is headed.
Me too. And all of the teachers that did that for me weren't in the traditional public school system. So my junior year of high school, I dropped out and went to a program called Access to Success in Helena. And it was based out of Helena College, and all of the classes were 2-hour blocks like a college course load would be. And like the format was like a college classroom setting, you know, with a professor at the front of the room, all the chairs and that sort of thing. And so like, I guess that sounds like a high school classroom too.
All classrooms are the same.
Yeah.
So.
But like they treated you like an adult while you were there. And like, if you needed to step out of the room to take a phone call, you know, or to go to the bathroom, you didn't need to get permission from the teacher. And like those teachers like are the only reason I ended up graduating and like getting my diploma, because they cared about us and like they cared about our success. Like,
cared enough to treat you like a person. You know, instead of just like somebody that's standing in the way of them and like their end of the day.
Instead of something they just had to do for the day and then go home.
And I'd say that's mainly the fault of teachers not getting paid what they deserve.
For sure.
You know, it's hard to be passionate about something when you're putting in so much work than you're being told you're worth. You know what I mean? Like it's disgusting, honestly, man. Like it's why, because think about how many parents are out working like 2 jobs or this or that. Most kids spend most of their times in their formative years with their teachers. You know what I mean? Like most of your time is spent at school, like around those people.
Yeah.
You know, and when most of them don't really care about you, don't really care where you end up. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that nobody really cares about them either. You know, it creates this loop of just like kids just being fucked. You know what I mean? Like it's one of the biggest problems in our country, honestly, is like the lack of funding within our public school system.
Very true. I would agree with that 100%. I can literally think of 2 teachers that have like genuinely helped me. Like, and I've always said this, like elementary school teachers are usually a lot better at it because you're handling kids.
Yeah.
And it's like
you're more of a babysitter than
exactly.
anything.
You're more of like a babysitter than anything. But once you get up to like the junior high and the high school levels, like that's when you really have to start caring about your students, and like vice versa. The students have to start caring about what the teacher is teaching.
And that falls on the parents a bit too.
It does,
like,
yeah.
like teaching them to be like disciplined and like respecting authority and that sort of thing. But
And like I did okay in school until like the last few years of high school, I guess, because I kind of just clocked out. But it was like that was due to my parents just being able to be there every night and discipline me, being like, "Hey, do your homework, or you're not gonna be able to go to the next grade up, and you won't get anywhere in life." And it's like, okay, I want to go at least to the next grade. And it's like,
all my friends are going there.
yeah, it's all like I don't want to get the bums in the class below me suck. I want to stay with these guys.
As somebody who is a new parent, what are like the main kind of societal concerns that are outside of your control that you have in terms of raising your child?
I'm sure there's a few.
I mean, I have a pretty loosey-goosey like opinion on this. Like, and I especially since actually we got pregnant, I've kind of stopped paying attention to like geopolitical stuff, like the war in Ukraine. You know, like I used to be very active in that sort of space, and like staying up to date. But like it's easier for me, I guess, now to just kind of clock out, not pay attention to that, and just try to raise a happy, healthy baby boy.
Is there any?
It's all about him now. It's not about like society.
You
for
know,
me.
something I realized is a main contributing factor to like the way people look at the world is social media. Like if you go out, like if all 3 of us were to go for just a like hour walk and just walk around and talk to random people, most people are having a pretty good day, pretty good life. Like things are pretty good out in the world right now. But according to social media, the world is on fire.
No, I mean, like you look at global death rates; it's never been as low as it's
Like
ever
exactly,
been, you know?
like we're
Like, the
doing
things-
okay.
Yeah.
It's just everybody around us is making it seem like we're not doing okay. Which, so like, if as long as you just stay out of the political and honestly just off social media for like the main part, unless you're just trying to get a laugh, like looking at skits and stuff, like the news on social media, yeah, it affects the people in that area for sure. But for the most part, the world is still a pretty decent, especially the United States, is still a decent place to live in.
No, I mean, I look around me at like my friends and like family, and like all of them are doing well, not like facing any major scrutinies or anything like that. Granted, we are all white in my family, so like that helps, and we live in Montana. But like I don't know. I think like even like general racism, when you look at like Gen Z and like younger generations, even millennials, like a lot of things are improving in society.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
you know,
something I've seen recently is like a lot of the stuff that the older generation is trying to push onto the younger generation. Now the younger generation is kind of seeing through all of that shit, and they're just like, I don't even believe it anymore. So, and that's very good in my opinion. Like, it's good that these kids our age and younger than us are kind of just seeing through all the crap people are trying to push onto us. Like, this isn't right. This isn't right. It's like, it is what it is. It's how the world works. And if you're just a good person and you try not to be like that, you'll be fine. Yeah, the world's just in a weird spot on social media, at least.
How old is your kid gonna be when they get their first iPhone?
I haven't thought about that too much. We know we don't want to like give him an iPad at all growing up.
Yeah.
Can't have an iPad. Dude.
Well, so the only reason I'll let him use an iPad is for like creative things, like you can get piano apps and that sort of thing.
Drawing
GarageBand.
things.
Yeah, GarageBand, drawing things.
You've seen that one kid that's like a phenom with like the music production, and he's like 7 years old, dude.
Yeah.
He can make a whole song in like fucking 5 minutes, dude.
Kids are talented as fuck nowadays, bro. It is insane. Like
It's crazy how adaptable they are.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet that'll be
way,
a crazy
it's
thing
the way
to
their
watch.
brains are wired and like the way they absorb information so much quicker than we do as adults.
Yeah.
You know, like because like
And they're literally growing up learning like the iPads and the iPhones and the Xboxes and the computers and all this shit. Like we kind of did. We were like half and half, but like people older than us didn't learn any of that until they were older. People younger than us have been learning that since the day they were born. It's kind of like that weird diversity because you get some people that know a little bit about it, some people that know nothing at all about it, and then the new group of people who know everything about everything. It's kind of crazy.
But yeah, to get back to like how old to get an iPhone, I'm not really sure on that. Like I know if he ends up going to public school, because we're gonna try homeschooling him if we can, because right now I'm doing like full-time stay-at-home dad while my wife works full-time.
And you're just doing like private contract stuff right now too.
Yeah, like in the evenings, during the week, and weekends.
Nice.
But like if he ends up going to public school, you know, we'll give him like not an iPhone, but we'll give him like a cheap like flip phone type deal, so he can contact us in case of emergencies, that sort of thing.
I like that.
And then probably like maybe middle school age, you know, around there is when I think it would be appropriate to start having a smartphone and like learning to like portion yourself almost, you know, like use self-control to not like only scroll on it, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because like a cell phone, smartphones are like an incredibly valuable, powerful tool
100%.
to carry in your pocket every day.
It's a supercomputer in your pocket.
Yeah, but
Like-
it's also like the biggest waste of time in your life.
And
if
it's
you let it
so
be.
easy to get addicted to, especially at a young age when you're not really aware of like, oh, in 7 years of me just staring at this fucking for 8 hours a day, I'm gonna be actually like kind of fucking
Yeah, your brain just
checked
won't
out.
work properly
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, especially if you do it at such a young age. Like your dopamine receptors are still forming, and like
you kind of have less of an idea of how real life social interactions work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have a skewed idea of the world because of all the bad shit or even the good shit that's on it.
Your attention span fried.
Oh my god, 30
know.
seconds.
I didn't even
Max.
grow up with like TikTok and Instagram Reels, and like I still will find myself losing
Same.
like 1 to 2 hours in a day.
Dude.
I'll
just
be at work.
scrolling and
I'll be at
Literally.
work, just sitting at the desk scrolling, and I'll look up, and 2 hours have gone by. I'm like, what the fuck was I doing for 2 hours on this thing?
And then you got to think about all those kids out there with like parents that are either like too busy or too lazy to take
so
care
they
of
just
them, and
hand them an iPad,
and
or
they're on
something.
that shit for like 20 hours a day.
I mean, I see shit on the internet that I'm like, that's fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, to give a kid unfiltered access to the internet is pretty
It's
wild.
crazy.
Dude, I had like group chats where like me and my friends would like send like gore fucking
Yeah,
like some of the
Live
most
Leak and-
fucked up
No.
violent videos
What-
in the world.
What's
too.
so funny to me is like Instagram's only defense for like before you watched a fucked up video is them saying, "Hey, this video is a little fucked up," and
Sensitive
all
content.
you have to do is go. I still want to view that. I don't care if it's fucked up. Press that.
That just
and you
makes
can
me
still
more
watch
intrigued.
It. Literally,
You know?
It's like, what is it?
I wonder what could be so fucked
What's
up about
behind
it.
the
Because like
yellow
half
door?
the time you click on it and it's like just some random bullshit,
and
and it's
then-
like, why was this flagged?
And then
Yeah.
then the one time you click on it, it's some guy getting his brains blown
Like-
out. You're like, oh shit, that's why that was clicked. Okay.
There's this one. Sorry for everybody listening that is easily triggered. There's this one where this dude like somehow flew out of like a moving train in like a subway,
Oh, I've seen
and he
this,
got
yeah.
cut in half by a pole
Holy shit.
like instantly.
He was just moving so quickly.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was flying down the platform and just got cut in half.
God damn.
Yeah, those like
People
cartel
die.
like Mexican
Oh,
torture
yeah,
videos.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
go
like
insane,
ISIS,
dude.
ISIS type
terrorist
stuff,
videos.
yeah.
There's this one of this guy with an AK-47 on live stream. Sorry, everybody. And where like he like pulled the trigger of the AK-47, and you don't realize like how like much a human really is just like muscle and tissue until you see
much
one
gush
fucking
they are.
fly apart.
You ever like it's a different thing, but there's the animated show called Invincible. I don't know if you've ever watched it. It's the most gory like superhero show you'll ever watch, and they truly show you how like squishy humans are, bro. Like you like because these are like super powerful superheroes, and they like don't give a fuck about people, so they literally just like clap their hands on someone's skull.
That sounds really familiar.
It's a comic.
I showed
book.
you the one scene from
That's
Invincible.
why it sounds
where
familiar. Okay.
he
Oh,
fucking has his
yeah.
head through the train
Yep.
and like
See, and
Yeah, and like that big fight scene with like the
Yeah.
Avengers. And
yeah,
stuff.
it's like it's such a good show, but like it just shows like that and like just even regular shows that they just make you realize how fragile a human is. You're like, oh my god, like because the what are they, the wing divers, what are the
wingsuiters.
wingsuiters? Like I see videos of that all the time, and if you're going that fast and you hit a pole, like I've seen videos of this, I don't recommend watching them because they get super fucked up.
Everybody watch them right now.
Watched one of a guy, like two guys going, the guy following him. One guy hit a pole, literally exploded in front of this guy, and the guy behind him had to just keep going because he can't stop in the middle of the air.
Me and you
know?
were talking about that one day, that dude who hit that rock and just turned into a fine mist.
like,
Yeah, dude.
Wind
such
sitting would
a-
be so much fun. Out of a plane. I don't know if I would do it like
I
Off
wouldn't
of,
do
like,
it
a-
through
off
a
a
mountain
mountain,
or
yeah.
anything like that. Out of a plane, it would be super. You ever watch Transformers Dark Side of the Moon? Where there's this one scene where like the whole military like wingsuits out of helicopters and like is flying through New York, and I'm like, oh, that would be so fucking cool.
just fucking. Oh gosh, I just had like a 9/11 meme pop in my head of like a guy in a wingsuit, you know.
Oh, dude. I saw a guy recently who made like these like 9/11 customized jeans, and they actually looked dope, dude.
We should get
Like
some.
each leg is a tower.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
we
like
should
it's
get
on
some.
fire and shit, dude.
One's
Can my
like
dick be the
crumble.
plane?
You bend your knee, one starts crumbling a little bit.
Oh, dude, this shit's so funny, bro.
On the front, it's like the before, and on the back, it's the after.
yeah, dude.
It's so funny that like the biggest national like tragedy that this country's ever faced is just now like the funniest thing that we
I
can
mean,
all laugh
Well, it's not
If
funny.
we can't laugh at
but
it.
yeah, if
Then
you
who
can't
are
laugh
we?
about it, then it
I
didn't
mean,
even happen.
we killed
right?
everybody that was involved, you know,
See,
like no reason to
yeah.
be bitter about it.
We got our revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bush is on his way out.
Stole a bunch of oil from the Middle East. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, we got our back end up.
We got our
We-
bag. Yeah.
We've been pieces of shit for a good amount of time now. We're good.
Yeah, we're still running their shit over there
Oh
too.
yeah,
So.
Ben running their shit since that happened, bro.
God, dude, I'm so happy. Fucking, I didn't join the military, man. Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
That would have sucked. I'm glad I didn't either. I was thinking about it.
Did you
for a
ever think
while.
about it?
No.
Not even a
okay,
little
well, when I was a kid and I first started playing Call of Duty, I was like, "Fuck yeah,
Oh,
dude!
yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
an
like,
infantry man."
Every kid did that. Yeah.
I turned like I hit middle school and I'm like, "Fuck that, dude! I just want to like
you start like
play music, you know."
you start
I'm
like
a
actually
fucking-
doing research on what happens over there, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
How early on did you decide, like, yeah, I want to do this music shit?
I mean, well, like music has always been a pretty major part of my life. Like I grew up playing guitar and that sort of thing. So like I always wanted music to be a part of my life, but to like look at it more as a career and like look into the event space and
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. Like 2020, 2021 is when I started taking things more seriously. Like I wanted to do it professionally, I would say.
Yeah.
How hard was it to break in initially?
Not like too difficult, you know, because I was ambitious, willing to learn. I'm easy to work with. So like once I met the right people, you know,
Yeah.
like they invited me out. Like that's all she wrote pretty much.
Those are probably the best qualities when you're like trying to pursue something. It's just being ambitious about it, looking for the right kind of people to work with you, and then just like being, like I said, just determined about what you're trying to do.
Well, and like being flexible. Because like when I first got into it, I was like, I just want to be a performer and I just want to like either DJ, play my own music, play guitar, whatever. But then I realized like I could get more consistent work in that space and still be around these people, like doing sound, doing lighting, doing
Yeah,
visuals, that sort of thing. And so it's just like finding that hole in the market that you fit best and like trying to slide into there. And
That makes sense.
Make yourself fit in as best as possible.
yeah, exactly. And like sometimes on the same crew, you know, you'll like be doing one thing and then like an hour later you need to fill in for this slot. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
So-
do you see yourself doing in like 10 years if all goes according to plan?
I don't know. You know, that's really an interesting question because like I don't necessarily want to like be a touring tech or anything like that. Like I'm happy having a home base and like not like I like being home. Like,
Touring tech kind of seems stressful, especially
Yeah.
if you have a family.
Yeah.
You know,
So like ideally for me, I would do like mainly events in Montana, but branch out, do stuff in Idaho, Washington, Nevada, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe travel every now and then. Yeah.
Like start performing and like setting up events in the Pacific Northwest. Like I have a lot of friends over in the Boise area who I've been trying to like get an event together with, that sort of thing.
Boise's a great spot to go do an event, man.
The music there, the scene is popping off. They have
love
like a bunch of
Boise.
nightclubs and
Love Boise. The first concert I ever went to was in Boise. Yeah.
who was it?
I couldn't tell you. Just some random field concert. It wasn't like anyone super popular, but
just
it
like
was
a local band.
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
thing.
like a local thing, but it was a super cool concert. It was like in this like 2-acre field, and they had a whole bunch of venues and stuff there, and then the concert area. It was super cool.
That's a good first concert. You know, I don't think you should go to like a major production
Yeah,
for your first
yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Probably
I've never-
a little bit too much.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
It was,
100%.
like that concert felt like Folk Fest if it was just like one concert instead of 20 concerts going on at Folk Fest. You know, it was just one thing with a whole bunch of shit else going on. You know.
Speaking
pretty cool.
of, we have some Folk Fest stuff to talk to you about after this.
Okay, tight.
So
You're not booked up yet, are you?
No.
Perfecto. Perfecto.
Wait, what's the weekend of it?
It would be July 19th that weekend.
I just got a.
ooh, I got a birthday present. Eee.
Is it your birthday?
No, it was like a month ago.
Who the fuck sent you a birthday present?
My aunt.
She
Happy
obviously
late
doesn't
birthday.
care.
Well,
about
thank you. I think she sent me a text and a card on my birthday. So messages came in late.
Fair.
Appreciate you, Aunt Jonna. I don't think you watch this, but I appreciate you.
Just like make a reel out of that moment and like tag her in it.
Yeah,
you know?
send it straight to her.
Is that the lady that gave us the paintings?
Yes,
Hey,
she's dope.
what's her name?
Aunt Jonna.
Hey, Aunt Jonna. Thanks for the paintings. We appreciate it.
They're dope ass paintings. We
appreciate
should go
it.
over to Stephens and grab them.
Oh, we should. I want to put them. I want to put that one right back there, dude. It was so perfect.
I'll move those two posters. Yeah,
You said that was the 19th?
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't got shit.
nice.
I was a little bit worried but I have one show the weekend after that.
Perfect. Yeah, it'll be chill. Is there anything you got coming up you'd like to promote? Any music releasing anytime soon?
No, I'm working on a new project right now, but it's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can check out my social medias, Captain Marlinn, Marlinn with 2 N's.
2 ends, guys.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
2 N's.
2 N's.
If you type in 1 N, you're a little fucking fuck.
You're an idiot.
Captain has 1 N.
Okay, Captain has 1 N. Marlin has 2. Is that how Marlin's actually spelled with 2 N's?
No.
Oh.
No, Captain Marlinn on Instagram was already taken
Oh.
with 1 N. So
Who
I just
the
put a
fuck-
second N on there.
Who's Captain Marlin OG?
I don't know. He has like 1 post, 5 followers.
It's always accounts like that, dude. I swear to God,
So-
bro.
Somebody jacked
I just
Mr.
made my
Tuesday.
brand have the 2 N's.
Somebody jacked the Mr. Tuesday and he has like 20 followers. I'm like, dude, I have more than that before I even switched my name over to Mr. Tuesday. I was like, that's so ignorant. You should be able to switch it if you have more followers.
God, that would be insane. Dude, people would start snagging shit left and
There would be
right.
protests in the streets.
Straight up.
I'll steal fucking like
I
Joe
had
Rogan's.
the tag I've had the tag ass since I was in 6th grade.
That dude who does have the one ass like goes crazy with it, dude. He's built like an entire brand off of it.
Good.
You get one unique name on Instagram, bro, and you could fucking
You're
run
set.
up thousands
You're
of
good.
dollars.
Yeah.
God. Imagine
That-
being like one of those like early motherfuckers in the
There's this thing that's been going around the past few years too, where like certain names and words aren't copyrighted, so people will just randomly copyright them. So they get money every time someone says it, or they can just copyright it every time someone says it. It's like that's kind of fucking gay.
Who was it? The React brothers or whatever?
Fine
The
Brothers,
Fine Brothers.
Yeah.
They tried to copyright reacting.
which is insane.
That's insane. That's
yeah, you're
literally
watching somebody else's work.
Now
It's
you
like
never
when
hear
you
about them.
That's like
Now
what-
you never hear about them.
Bros
It's like
fell
what
off.
YouTube was founded off of, was reacting to other people's shit.
Yeah, dude. Reaction channels are responsible for like all of Twitch streaming now.
Yeah, I was
That's pretty
talking
close to it. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
talking to a like decently sized YouTuber the other day, and he was telling me like, dude, reacts is where it's at. Like, you start reacting to other people's channels, you'll start getting good views. I was like, that's kind of fucking gay.
Yeah, it is
That
pretty
you,
lame.
you get the most views watching other people's shit.
There are like still just like some good creators out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But
There's some great creators out there.
and nowadays, this actually like the problem isn't as bad as it used to be with people not being as creative, But
Well, and yeah, that's the thing, because my view on it is everyone thinks they can just set it up and do it without like actually having that creative initiative to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you can always tell when you're watching it if they're being creative with something, or if they're trying something new, or yada yada, they're being funny or whatever, and you can kind of just scroll past it. Like you can see what's real nowadays and what's like just trying to be clickbait and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially like even like within like the first few seconds of like some shit, dude. You
Yeah.
could just tell like, yeah, this is some bullshit.
Some
These
low
vibes.
quality, yeah.
the vibes are
I
wrong.
wonder if people get that from our podcast.
Hopefully,
I would hope so.
I put in a lot of effort just for you.
we all do here at FRiED Incorporated /FiLES.
Make sure
Did you watch the St. Patty's Day vlog?
No,
We'll send it
no,
to
I
you.
haven't had time. I've been running around like a fuck ton.
We'll show it to you after.
When I'm not holding a baby, I'm trying to like do dishes and like fucking fold laundry. And,
You're on that stay-at-home dad grind.
Yeah.
dude, it's a lot of work.
Do you feel
Shout
like,
out to all the stay-at-home moms out there
For
who've
real,
been doing this
dude.
for millennia. Like,
dude?
y'all don't get enough
good
credit.
Good on them.
Do you wish you could like be like old school drugged up like the way they used to with like the Xanax and like the codeine cough syrup and all that?
I mean, I smoke weed every day still, so
be
like,
so
I mean, I'm not too far off.
That's fair.
But like,
Do you ever like smoke too much weed and forget that you have a baby?
No.
And like just forget about it for a little bit?
I've been smoking weed every day since I was like 16 years old. So like,
Well, me too, but sometimes I'll smoke too much weed and forget that like Stitch is outside. I'll be like, oh shit, she's been outside for a few minutes.
more so like I'll forget about like the food that I had, like that I was cooking
Okay, yeah.
or something. It's pretty hard to forget about him because
Yeah.
he'll just scream at me.
Oh yeah,
Fair.
yeah. Babies are a lot different than
Yeah.
really anything else.
How would you feel if your kid grew up to smoke weed?
That'd be
I'm
dope
just
as
waiting
hell.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Do you think he'll watch this one day?
probably.
that'd be sick.
What's his name?
Shout out.
Rowan.
Shout out Rowan.
What up, man?
Your dad was on the
You're my guy.
podcast in the OG days.
Hey, he's doing a great job right now. So go clean your room. All right?
Go do
Don't
your
backtalk
laundry.
him again.
Do the dishes for him.
All right?
Please.
You know how much work this man has put in for you? How much?
Like 10 hours.
I mean, at least yeah,
At
10
least
hours.
10 hours.
We moved into like a new house for him and everything. Like when we found out we were pregnant, because our last place wasn't like super like up to code on everything, you know.
Suitable for a child,
Yeah.
you would say.
How much money you got to put into childproofing?
We haven't had to really childproof anything because we moved into a new place, and so from the very beginning we were like we had that mentality going into it.
Well, and it's a newborn. You don't really need to like childproof till they start crawling and walking.
Yep,
True.
But like we gotta get covers for the electrical outlets and that sort of
Ooh,
thing,
yeah,
so you
yeah.
can't put forks in there.
Yeah.
Some
The
people
little shit.
Some people put foam on like corners of like their coffee tables and stuff.
Be careful at daycares too. When I was in
Oh.
daycare, I cracked my head open off a glass coffee table.
That's
When I was,
that's
like,
why
3 or
I
4.
stopped working full time, was because we don't trust
There
daycares
you go.
and they're like way too expensive.
There's
They
some
do
sketchy
be.
ones here too.
Yeah.
I won't say any
Oh,
names,
everywhere.
but
Everywhere you go, you'll hear stories
Oh, yeah.
about daycares getting shut down because they shake babies, they don't feed them.
well, the fact that you're able to just kind of like run it out of your own house
Is
and kind of
wild,
be
yeah.
anybody is
you should
insane.
you should need like a license to be a
Yeah.
Somebody
a
from the
daycare
government should
provider.
have to come to your house, be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, da 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 da
I mean,
da."
like if you want to set up like a commissary kitchen in your house, you need to get like your whole house certified.
the-
Like
And that's just serving food, let
Yeah.
alone handling other people's
Yeah.
children.
The
you're
crazy
feeding that
thing
kid,
is-
you're bathing that kid.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is daycares also get like a lot more federal funding than even schools do. Like you get a lot
Really?
more, yeah, you get a lot more just based off like taxes. And because I know a family that runs a daycare and I just know like some of their financial shit because I know their son really well. And like they were able to buy a whole new house just based off the check they got from the shit they were supposed to spend on
Goddamn.
The daycare. And they were just able to use it as leeway.
Maybe I'll open up daddy
Yeah, dude.
daycare then.
Let's
Yeah,
run a
it's like-
daycare out this bitch.
Facts.
Let's
dude.
do it.
Like
Straight
they,
up.
We'll make all the kids like
Those-
do the podcast. and,
those
like,
residential
we'll
daycares make
it'll be
so
a
much
content
money.
farm.
We'll raise them to be influencers, but we have to sign them into 360 deals.
Yes.
Have to. We have to profit off of them expeditiously.
Ooh.
We're gonna milk them pretty much
Yep.
for everything
we'll be
they're
the new
worth.
Disney.
Exactly.
Nickelodeon.
And then we'll turn them out to be sex crazed pop stars. Perfect. It's crazy that was a business model at one time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean Ariana Grande,
Miley
Hannah Montana.
Cyrus, Britney
Miley
Spears.
Yeah, Britney Spears. That's who I was just about to bring up.
Poor Britney.
Have you seen videos of her now?
Oh my god, I feel so bad.
I think she's still in like her what's it called? Where her parents like own her pretty much.
Contract.
I thought she got out
Guardianship.
Guardianship shit. Yeah.
Did she
thought,
get
like,
out of it?
I'm pretty sure she just did like a huge court thing to get out of it.
I think she did. I
Yeah.
think she filed a lawsuit against it
Hi,
after.
kitty.
Yeah, that's the
30
first time
years.
she's come out.
You haven't said hi to me yet.
But even then, like, I feel so bad for her because I don't know if you've watched any videos of her recently, but I was watching Andrew Santino talk about it, and he was like, she has that thing where she just kind of talks like a baby. Like she has that babyish voice where she just doesn't like have a full matured voice. And I'm like, I just feel so bad every time I watch a video of her now. I'm like, God damn, they really fucked her up.
It's crazy that like some like people like that, like, because on like to the outside world, you know, especially like 20 years ago before this was like kind of like widely heard about, you just see people like that and assume they're like crazy spoiled rich kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we do the same thing nowadays.
For
Like,
sure.
We have no idea what the kids are going
But the
through
reality
now.
of it is like those kids are getting pimped out by like the one people who should care about them, their parents.
It's so unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And
And
like nobody feels really bad for them because it's like, oh, if I had that much money, I wouldn't care what's happening to me.
Very few child actors, like their parents do everything right. Like the actors who did Zach and Cody, I'm trying to remember their names right now.
Cole Sprouse and Dylan
Yeah,
Sprouse.
Sprouse
like, their
twins.
parents did it right.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and
Those
like,
kids
kinda
have turned out
them.
pretty well.
Yeah, like one of them just runs like a mead
Yeah.
facility, and then like the other guy he just does like music and like
The-
creative stuff, you know. But
One of them was on Riverdale for a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah,
They seem to be
yes.
doing great. So good for them. Good on them and their parents.
Yeah.
For real.
Shout out.
Zack and Cody was one of the best fucking shows of all time,
Facts.
bro.
When I was growing up, it was like my favorite.
I love Zach and Cody.
Did
And
you
then
watch
they-
Johnny Test?
And then they did
Yeah.
Sweet Life. Johnny Test. I love Johnny Test.
I don't know if that's how the fucking thing
Yeah, it
sounds.
was.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah, it was just John.
Johnny
This is the life.
Test.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it
Yeah.
was like the guitar and all that. Yeah.
This is the
You know what-
life of a boy named
See.
Johnny Test. Yeah.
Act like I didn't watch fucking
Codename Kids
Progress.
Next Door.
Codename Kid Next.
No, I didn't watch a
never
whole
watched
lot of
that.
it.
But you know what
I
that
I know
is.
what it is.
I know it's a good show.
It was fantastic.
Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and
Shout
Ferb's goated. They're remaking Phineas and Ferb, which pisses me the fuck
They're gonna
off.
start remaking shit like fucking.
I want a live action Phineas and Ferb.
Oh my god.
That should be a horror movie. That should be
you'd
an
have to, like-
A24 produced horror movie, bro.
Dude, you'd have to like
Bro.
CGI Phineas's triangle ass head and Ferb's long weird ass head. Oh, such an interesting animation for a Disney show, bro.
Was that Disney?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
That was Disney. That was one of Disney's last good ones. Do you remember Disney XD? Like
Yeah.
kicking it and
like
all that
kicking
shit.
it, and there was that skateboarding one too.
I don't think I ever watched any Disney XD though.
Disney XD had some good show. What was Johnny? There was that animated show.
If you're about to say
No.
Johnny Bravo,
No, not Johnny.
because I was about to
Bravo.
say that's OG. That's
Johnny
from like
Bravo. That's
Boomerang.
cartoon. That's Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I always watch that on Boomerang. Did you ever watch Boomerang? Had like all
Oh,
like the
yeah.
old Flintstones, all that shit.
All the
on
old
it.
Looney. Every morning they would have like 3 hours of the old Looney Tunes show. Like, oh,
Have you ever
so
seen
good.
OG Looney Tunes?
so
I don't think
good.
so.
So racist.
So-
So
Have you
unbelievably
like
racist.
the first? They're on Disney Plus. The first 2 seasons are black and white, just Mickey Mouse being racist as shit.
Dude, like the way they animate black people on there, it is insane. Like the big, like, comically, like
I promise you, go watch.
so racist.
go
like.
watch-
I think I've seen like stills of it.
Go watch the full episode is on Disney Plus. Go look up Looney Tunes, and the first episode is from like 1930 something, and it's just Mickey. It's that same still of Mickey Mouse on a boat, but it's just the whole episode, and there's like black people in it. Oh, it's so funny.
Back before we discovered human
See?
rights.
Like that. Throw a picture of that up on the
yo,
pod.
bruh.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Oh,
They did that
my.
with,
What's up with like the mouth region?
yeah,
You know,
Dude.
Like,
they did that with African Americans and Jewish people as well. Like they accentuated noses for Jewish people. It was
It
so
is.
holy
insane.
shit.
It feels like you're looking at like 1940s propaganda.
It does
was
look like
absurd.
propaganda. Yeah.
And that
It
company
probably
is now
was
worth
fucking propaganda.
Dude.
Walt Disney's like, I want everybody else to be just as racist as
and
me.
that company is now
100%.
worth billions of dollars.
They run entertainment.
Yep. Do you want another shot?
More so. Would you like to take some dabs?
Yeah, we'll do that after.
These sound like great ideas. Sorry for everybody. I drummed on the table.
They don't care.
We do a lot more ignorant shit. We've done that before.
Michael will ASMR into the microphone.
You could get
Did-
really personal.
Oh no, that was
Crank my gain up really far.
ooh.
I used to have a Blue Yeti microphone when I was making Minecraft videos.
Yeti microphones are gas.
Dude, they are. I was talking to you about this when we first met, but I love the Yetis as a first microphone because they have the gain knob on them.
Oh yeah,
And they have
Michael has
the direct monitor line out with the headphone port. Like it just teaches you a lot. you
Yeah,
know?
my first wasn't a Yeti; it was a HyperX, but they have the same thing where you can adjust the gain, and they have the microphone and headphone
And
port.
the omnidirectional shit on
they
it.
have the
too.
omnidirectional shit, so it was super useful for a first microphone to like learn how a microphone actually works.
Yep.
So, lots of
very
good starter
cool.
microphones.
Then you boot. How much better? Like, how much better is like an XLR cord microphone than like? Is it like
So much better.
Versus like a USB or
Yeah.
like
So much better.
yeah, it's just like
Could you see USB ever catching up?
yeah, I mean, I don't mind USB. So like the way I get my mic ran into my computer is I plug it into an interface and then that goes from a USB into my computer. right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So like it's still the audio is getting transferred through a USB. But I don't know, like most XLR microphones, what you're paying for is like the guts like up here. So there's like a plate in there that vibrates back and forth like a speaker would when you play
Okay.
music through it. And your voice, like, it's getting picked up, like sending that signal through the cords and everything.
it's kind of getting picked
And
up
so-
through vibrations.
Yeah.
Instead of just straight input.
Yeah, it's not just like the cable is sending the signal and like what you get with a nice cable is just like less noise in the line, you know?
Yeah.
Because like if these were cheap cables, we would just hear like a tss in our ears, you know,
Like
the whole time.
like that interference we were fucking having with
Yeah.
those one cords.
We fixed that.
Fix that. But then right after that, the headphone broke. So I told you. Every time we fix something else breaks. Every
It's
single
just-
time.
It's the world of tech, you
Yeah.
know?
It's ignorant.
And
It's ignorant.
I wouldn't even. We might have to have you take a look because I think it's the port in the headphone there. But we'll talk about it later after. But
Just jiggle it.
We
That's what I
like
thought.
replaced it with
maybe
like
give it a
another-
clean,
Spray it out with some air.
or just
What I-
grab one of those fuzzy whatever they're called, where you just stick them in and
I've got some troubleshooting ideas.
perfect.
I don't want to bore people with it.
No.
Yeah, we will. We'll
Well, here, let's take this shot real quick. Ooh,
facts.
For the boys.
Demons. I hate the Singleton.
You
That
hate-
shoots really well.
I hate it.
You ate pretty much everything.
It's like
Yeah.
a very savory whiskey.
I like sugar. I'm a big sugar guy. I like rum chata. I like,
You like
the
the-
Baileys.
You like
Give me
cream.
the Baileys, man.
You like the cream.
Yeah, I'm a big cream guy.
Irish cream.
Oh, it is. I thought Vil still had the Baileys.
Nope.
Isn't that stuff like really thick? Like
Yeah.
syrupy?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. He likes like the creamy, thicker stuff.
I can't
And
do that.
I don't like it at all.
It
should-
goes down so nice.
I mean, yeah.
But I
Like
never
when you mix it with stuff.
Yeah.
I like drinking mixers straight.
You ever had a White Russian?
No, what's that?
I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like a darker beer, and you drop like a shot of Jaeger into it. It's like a Jaeger
Oh
bomb.
yeah.
But then there's also some cream in it.
Ooh.
And so like the cream, you have to drink it really fast or else the cream starts to curdle and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that's how we did an Irish car bomb a few
yes,
nights ago.
Irish car bomb's
yeah,
very similar.
I hate them.
with Bailey's and Guinness.
I'm a little girl about alcohol, man. I ain't gonna lie. I do not like
Guinness
it.
and something else goes in it. What was it?
Where
Jameson.
is we left the Guinness at Mania's?
Yeah, we
I love me some Guinness.
I can't
we
do
did
it.
leave it up to me. God damn it.
We leave booze everywhere.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I guess
suppose.
so. We always
Generous
have
for the
booze.
people.
I mean, I don't care if he drinks
At
it.
least we know we're not alcoholics.
That's not true.
I always have booze around, but I'm okay leaving something behind. I think he still might
I think
have
that's
a problem,
like the
you know?
definition of alcoholism.
having the
is like
alcohol
not
always
caring where
around.
your alcohol
I
is.
don't drink all of my supply. I'll make sure I stay stocked on it so I
gotta
never run out.
Spread the wealth. Mania.
You sound like a stoner trying to convince themselves they're not addicted to weed, you know? Like,
Oh my god.
Oh, I gave up on that so long
Yeah,
ago.
I gave that up. I gave that up years
Anybody
ago.
who says some shit like, dude, weed's not addictive. It's
You
like,
can't
bro,
get addicted to weed. It's like you are a fucking
smoke
liar.
that shit every day, dude. If I
No, I
stop, I
mean,
start having problems.
like some people report not having like physical ailments from stopping smoking weed, but even just like the psychological
The
side
mental
of it,
shit.
yeah,
Like-
incredibly addicted.
Mhm. Like when I stop, I can't sleep. I don't eat. I feel depressed half the goddamn time, and then that takes like 3 days to get over. But then that's like only a 3-day withdrawal cycle, and then it's kind of over. But you're still fiending for it all the time. It's like all you really think about.
'Cause
And
when
it's
you, like-
so that's definitely an addiction.
You have like a hard day at work, long day at work. All you're thinking about.
I can't wait to get home till I take a dab or
Holy
smoke
fuck,
smoke
holy
that
fuck.
joint. Ugh.
Because it's not really like the substance anymore. You know, it's just the act of doing it
Yeah.
that is just simply stress relieving.
It's the dopamine that you receive from it, not like the THC or like whatever the
That,
alcohol.
like,
Speaking of,
even if you don't get like that high off of it, it's like that small little feeling that you get that's different from being sober. It's like that's where it is. That's why you keep doing it and why you feel addicted to it. It's like, oh, it's just such a nice feeling to not feel anything. I guess the best way to put it is like you don't feel anxiety. Like some people, I guess. For me, when like I smoke weed to not feel anxiety. For like people like Garrett, when he smokes too much, he gets too anxious.
yeah, man.
For me, originally, weed smoking was more about pain management.
Yeah.
Because I was hit by a car when I was 15 years old.
Jesus.
And so
Tell
like,
that story really quick. We should have went into that
Yeah.
an hour ago. God damn it.
So, I mean,
clip,
I was
clip.
just walking on the side of the road with my little sister next to me, and it was like a side road, so there wasn't any light poles or anything.
Okay, yeah.
And there wasn't a sidewalk, but there was like a ditch. So we were kind of like walking like on the very edge of the road, you know. And this like the
I've
sun
done
was
that.
starting to go down, so it wasn't like dark, but it was like, you know, your eyes are adjusting and everything. And this woman doing about 30 miles an hour hits me from behind, and like I flew probably like 30 feet.
Just railed you from behind, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Did you hear the car coming?
No, they didn't have their headlights on. I didn't hear the car or anything.
What did she say afterwards?
I blacked out. So
I
like,
bet she felt really bad.
like one moment I was standing, the next moment I was lying on the ground underneath, like, you know how like some mailboxes, there's like a group of them together.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like laying underneath the mailboxes with
Jesus.
and I could hear like my little sister screaming, and like the gal who hit me, she's like, what's your mom's phone number? What's your mom's phone number? Just trying to like wake me up and like get me engaging in conversation.
Yeah.
And like I didn't really fully come back to consciousness until the ambulance showed up. And then, you know, like ambulance ride, all that bullshit. But
How far did you fly?
I didn't. Oh, about
Like,
30 feet.
Holy
Christ.
But
Like
most
in
of
the
that-
air?
Most of it was on my face on asphalt.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That would
I,
hurt so
I have like
bad. Oh my
some
God.
scarring on the underneath of my chin here, a little bit on my cheek, and like behind my right ear right here.
Really?
Scarring. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Asphalt fucks your shit up, dude. I swear.
Yeah.
God damn.
And what was the recovery process for that? Like what did you break doing that?
I broke one of my sinuses, like, because you know your sinuses, there's like multiple cavities
Yeah,
up here.
yeah.
One of the walls between those cavities broke, and when it rehealed, it like pinched over top of one of the nerves that runs to my eyeball. And so whenever I look to the left, you can see my right eye will point upwards.
Yeah, I see it. That's
Interesting.
crazy.
And
Yeah,
so
I remember you showing me that and being like, holy
yeah,
fuck.
it doesn't affect like my ability to drive or exist
Nothing
or
like
anything.
that, okay.
Like you'll notice sometimes if like we're sitting on a couch together and you're on my left, I'll like just close one eye when I look over to the right or to the
okay.
left rather. But for the most part, it doesn't affect my day-to-day life. You
Nice. Did you break like any major bones or anything? Like you break a leg or
know? I broke
an
my
arm?
foot.
Oh, that's not terrible. I mean,
no.
a foot's got a lot of tiny ass bones in it
Yeah.
that you can break.
And it was one of those tiny ass bones
Okay,
that
good.
broke. So the recovery process like was really only like 3 months, 4 months long.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a tragic event, but for for what could have happened,
For
that's
sure.
not
Nobody
terrible
died
at all.
Were you
Yeah.
in like shock, or how bad does something like that hurt when you came to consciousness?
I didn't feel any pain until the next day.
Really?
How bad was that next day?
It was like my whole body was just sore as fuck, you know, like I had just done the most intense workout of my life, and like my head hurt, you know.
It's crazy because when like traumatic stuff like that to your body happens, like you instantly go into shock. You feel you don't feel any pain because
That's why I blacked out. Was my body like way of like saying you don't want to experience this.
I broke my leg when I was 13 or 12 or 13 on a trampoline, and it was a compound fracture. So like I felt it break and then landed on it again because I was on a trampoline. So it's just bouncing and I had all that momentum. And then when I was laying there, I looked.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Fuck.
Shit, I done fucked him up. Damn it, I'm sorry.
So like your was it your femur bone?
It was both of them. Or no, it was
these ones
the
down
shin.
here.
Yeah, it was both of those though.
So both of them when you landed probably like stuck up into your feet and shit.
So like I
did the same shit when he told me
what
this,
I
bro.
remember about it is like jumping on the trampoline normally, like I felt this sharp pain through my leg and then just instantly went into shock, landed on it again and like was laying down, and the 3 people that were on the trampoline with me just started screaming. So I like looked down at my leg and just saw like it hanging and I saw the bone and everything. So everybody just started screaming. But you, like you said, you just go right into shock. I didn't feel anything. My dad like literally stinted up my whole leg without me feeling it at all. Like my dad's a G, Jesus Christ. Like he literally like grabbed my leg, half off of the other part of the leg, stinted it up to the point where when we went to the emergency room, the doctors were like, we're not going to take that off till we go into surgery because it's just holding everything
We're
together
just gonna
pretty
do the
well.
same thing.
Yeah. And it's like,
Shouts out.
shout out my dad for real, but traumatic ass
I couldn't imagine
experience,
breaking
bro.
my leg and then jumping fucking right on it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, like that's what the doctor explained to me. He was like, "Oh yeah, you most definitely broke it on one and then went up again, landed on it right again, and just
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a trampoline in my house.
yeah, trampolines are so fun until they're not.
If he ever
fun.
asks why, just show him this episode. Dude.
Show him, like I have pictures of it too, like not of the moment of it happened, but I have pictures of like the giant hole in my leg where the bone was still showing, and like I literally still have the gadget, all the metal rods and shit that they had attached to my leg. I had
Trigger warning, everybody.
It's a little late for that, I think.
yeah, for one day when I was
Just put it on the whole episode.
I was just sitting
Warning,
on
Captain Marlinn is here.
yeah. I was sitting on my couch one day, just like with all the contraption on and everything, still just like sitting there watching TV, and like there was this little like scab or something on my scar, so I just kind of started picking at it because I was bored as fuck. And then my mom came down, and I like as she came down, I just pulled out a pin, like a metal pin out of my leg, and I was like, I don't think that's supposed to happen. So we called the doctor, and he was like, oh no, like that does happen, like they'll just put the bone will just push them out. So like you weren't supposed to pull it out for sure, but I mean, cool that you did. And I was like, oh shit.
I mean, when they pull those pins out, they don't give you any kind of painkillers or anything because it doesn't hurt, or like it's not supposed to hurt. I don't know if it did too bad when you did it.
When I pulled it out, literally it felt like a shot, like a needle just coming right out of your leg. Like it didn't hurt at all. It just felt like it was supposed to come out.
Yeah. It's like more traumatic just to watch it happen than anything.
Oh yeah, because I pulled it out and I was just like, I think that's holding together my leg right now.
I'm not gonna stand up at all.
I don't think I'm supposed to do that. And then after he told me you were supposed to, like, that's fine and shit, I just stopped caring because eventually I got just like this brace around my leg to just support it. And I just started playing like kickball and shit with that brace on, even though I was like, yeah, it could break my leg again, but who cares?
You're still young, you know.
After 9 months,
our bodies are meant to be.
After like 9 months of not being able to do anything with your leg, you're kind of just over it, and you're like, I can walk on it a little bit. I'm gonna go have some fun. That's just that was a good experience. But I wanted to ask you too, like I've never been in an ambulance because when that happened to me, my dad we just loaded me in the back of the Tahoe and took me up there, but my dad has been in an ambulance, my sister, and you and like a few other people I've known, and I've just like heard different experiences on how that trip up to the hospital is, because like for the most part you're in shock, so you don't really care because you're not feeling anything and you're just they're just trying to keep you awake. Because if you fall asleep when you're in shock, you have like a 50% more chance of dying. Because if you go to sleep when you're in shock, your body will just shut down.
I'm sure once you're a certain age, you're just wondering, fuck, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
Holy
yeah,
fuck.
I
Holy
wonder.
fuck.
Well, because
Luckily-
that opening scene, that first episode of Breaking Bad is like that. He has that, not heart attack. He has like his first cancer thing
Where he passes
where
out.
he
yeah.
passes out. And like the first thing he says when he wakes up in the ambulance is like, I don't have the insurance to cover this. And it's like, God damn, like that shit hits home. Cause like you realize that's how pretty much everyone feels when they're at a certain age. They're like, I can't afford this.
Or-
Is
reminds me of
baby
a-
health insurance expensive?
Yeah.
I would
bet.
assume. Yeah.
So like his insurance, it comes through my wife's work, but like it's pretty cheap for her to get on that insurance because her company covers like a portion of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
But then when you add on like me or the kid to the to that roster, then it like gets a lot more expensive. So like before it was just like $200 a month for her insurance, and now it's like closer to $800 a month for both of them.
Holy
and I'm
fuck.
not on that plan, so
God damn. Are you not on health insurance then?
I haven't had health insurance since I became 18.
Hey, my man.
Yeah, I try to stay
Yeah.
healthy, like live a healthy life. I eat healthy.
Yeah,
Don't
same.
put myself in risky situations. You know,
Knock
like,
on wood, man.
yeah,
For
knock
real.
on wood.
I had to get one. Like I got kicked off my health insurance at like the day I turned 19, and then I didn't have it until a few months ago. But like my parents pretty much made me go get my own because they were like, "Dude, you've broken your leg, broken your arm, cracked your head open. You've had multiple concussions. You need health
You're a
insurance.
high-risk individual. For
You're a
sure,
high
dude.
risk individual." And I hurt myself all the time just doing shit, but. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I should get health insurance, but I never use it. I've had it for like 6 months and never once used it. So
It's like one of those things where like a bunch of crazy shit will happen to you when you don't have it, and then once you get it, fucking, you're fine.
Everything's
Yeah,
chilling,
Nothing
yeah.
happens.
We got to think like the lifestyle of somebody who has like good health insurance, like through their work and stuff, is gonna like have a much calmer lifestyle than a person who might be like living life on the edge, not
On
having
some
Steve-O
insurance,
shit.
You know, they don't have like a solid job enough
They
to
don't
provide
have-
insurance.
yeah.
I wonder if the Jackass guys had health insurance.
I would
They-
almost bet you they did.
They probably did actually.
They
Not for
probably
the
had
first one.
to.
I know they didn't for the first one, but for the second one, they probably did because like there's a lot more production value going into
it was probably like probably the second one. It was probably like a law that they
Yeah.
had to have health insurance before doing any
But
of
I
that
know like
shit.
Steve-O didn't make like any money off of the first Jackass. You know, like
But none of them did.
who was it? Knoxville made all the money because
Really?
he like brokered all
Did-
the contracts and
I want. Did Knoxville like spread the money throughout? Like
no, he kind of fucked him over.
Really?
Especially Steve-O got like the shit end of that stick. Yeah,
I wonder how they like did he like kind of make up for that? Because
I
they
mean, I
seem
would-
like
they're
they're
on good terms
decent
now,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would assume they did. They made like 9 more movies together.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm pretty sure Steve-O ended up getting his bag.
I mean, Steve-O's doing well now. I
Steve-O's
know
probably the
that.
most successful out of all of them.
I think so.
He's the most relevant.
other than Knoxville,
Yeah.
obviously. But
I think like Knoxville and Bam Margera might have like made more money during their careers.
Really?
But I bet you Steve-O's catching up now.
see that's
because he has
something-
his podcast, he still does all of his live shows that sell out
Yeah.
everywhere he fucking goes.
Yep.
That's something I would never want to do. Is like if I was in the situation that like Knoxville was in, I would have just given all the money I got to like all the people that actually contributed to the movie, and like all the people that actually got hurt, like
Yeah.
Steve-O and all those guys. It's
They're
like, I would've
literally
given
giving
them-
their physical health
Yeah,
to an entertainment product.
Like I don't know if you've seen Steve-O recently. He's been pretty fucked up from all that shit, like very badly.
he is a lot healthier
I
than
think
he
said
could
he's
be.
like
Oh,
the
yeah.
healthiest he's ever been in his life right now.
Well, my thing is, it's baffling that he's even like that healthy. Like it's amazing that he can be that healthy.
My favorite Steve-O story of all time is he talks about when he used to do ketamine. He would take like liquid ketamine and pour it on his microwave tray and just heat it up until it was like a fine powder, and then he'd like crush it all up. And
That's
he
insane.
would snort it and do it so much that like one day like he would like see like apparitions and like ghosts in his apartment of like people he knew and like dead people and this and that. And he told me that like one day he got he didn't tell me this. He was talking about it. He was like, yeah. Oh fuck. He
You
was
talked
like-
to Steve-O
he was
personally.
he was
about
like,
it.
dude, I got so fucked up that my fucking apparitions had an intervention for me. And it's like, dude, do you know how fucked up
Dude,
you
you
have
know
to
how
be
bad it has
for
to
like
be
your
for your-
drug hallucinations would be like, hey man,
Your own
we're
mental
worried about
is
you.
telling you, hey, you need to stop.
Your deep subconscious
Yeah.
is like, bro, it's
That's
time
crazy.
to chill out a bit.
hey man, we're
Like,
worried about
Maybe
you.
lay off the ketamine and nitrous, you know, like
I see people like Steve-O and like even like people that can drink a shit ton, like Steve will do it and be
fucking
like,
Shane Gillis.
how the fuck do you do that? Like I can drink a moderate amount, like, and I've seen people drink a shitload, but I've seen like you said, Shane Gillis on one podcast of JRE, I've watched him slam a whole 30 pack of Bud Lights.
And they
like,
do it while maintaining a career.
literally, and they do it while like being able to still be funny and like still be like cohesive and talk and all this shit. It's like, how in the world do you do that?
That's what you call a functioning addict.
Yeah, that's insane. Like I can drink a lot, but at a certain point, I'm just a non-functioning person. Like I have to be brought in places, and it's like I don't think those guys ever feel that. They're just going all the time.
Well, they
doing
probably
shit.
had to be brought places so many fucking times. that,
Well,
like,
yeah.
Oh, you know, Shane probably doesn't drive himself anywhere.
No,
you know?
I would.
guaranteed.
It was same with like Bert Kreischer and stuff. Like I'm sure he has a driver for everything he does because he gets pretty drunk and stuff like that. It's like I just every time I see someone like explain how many drugs or shit they've done, I'm like, bro, how are you not dead? Because like I've taken a certain amount of alcohol or just drugs and been like, I feel like I'm this close to dying. So how have these guys done 20 times more than me and not died? Been perfectly fine the next day.
Yeah, I think the most I ever drank in a night was like close to 20 drinks between like shots and beers, you
Yeah.
know, and like by the time I got home from the bar, like I had to get picked up by my wife first of all, but I just slept next to the toilet that entire night. Like I had alcohol poisoning to the fucking max, and I was like, this might get to the point where I need to go to the hospital, you know.
That was
And
me
it's-
like 2 weekends
he drank
ago.
half a bottle of Don Julio.
Yeah, after
taking, like,
after
a
having
fourth of
few
it in
shots, a
shots.
few beers, and like yeah.
Altogether,
It
I'd
was
say he
bad.
drank 3/4 a bottle of Don Julio to himself in the span of like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It got really bad, but it was a fun night, so I don't regret it. I'm fine.
No,
now.
I don't regret all of like I've gotten alcohol poisoning like 4 or 5 times in my life,
Really?
you know, and like every single time it's been a good night. So
Yeah.
it's not.
Have you
like-
ever had to like go to the hospital for it? Yeah,
I had a friend end up in the hospital with alcohol poisoning, but that's because we were being really stupid. So we were like freshmen in high school at the time, and we got like super shit faced, and then went and like started carjacking people, like breaking into cars
Yeah,
and
yeah.
grabbing shit, you know.
Typical stuff, yeah.
typical Montana shit.
And like we opened this one truck up, and like this guy was just sitting on his deck like smoking a cigarette or whatever, and he's like, hey, get out of my fucking truck. And so we both like book it down the road, and my friend gets tackled by the guy that saw us because he couldn't keep up. And
Slow ass bitch, bro. Should have kept running.
just like match my pace, we'll make it.
Yep. All you got to do in a chase is be faster than the person behind you.
Dead ass.
So that was an interesting night because I was living with my with Callie at the time.
Okay.
Like not officially, but like we moved in together pretty quickly
Yeah,
into our
yeah.
relationship, still in high school. And so I like fell asleep in her garage, and I get a call from my mom at like 3 a.m, like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm sleeping at Callie's house. What's up? She's like, why is Jaden like at the hospital right now? Sorry to name drop you, dude.
Why is the friend you were with at the hospital right now?
Yeah. They said they picked him up near Callie's house. Like,
Ooh, shit.
like I don't know, Mom. What happened?
I have
I've
no
been sleeping all
idea.
night. I've been a good boy.
That's news to me, Mom. I mean, I don't know.
I've been here all night, I
like,
swear.
I was literally like passed out, like fucking this, you know, like, a bucket underneath me, fucking. Oh god, yeah, I did a lot of stupid shit when I was younger.
Do you want to talk about the one stupid thing?
Which one?
The one.
I would rather not get into
Okay,
that.
I got you.
on
I
the
got you.
podcast. Yeah,
We'll have you tell Clint after the
yeah,
episode.
for sure,
yeah.
for sure.
It's a crazy story, dude. It's kind of funny.
I used to like snort Adderall in like the middle of the day and then go back to school. Oh my god, like some of the shit you do off Adderall is so insane, bro.
Oh, dude, I used to take acid before school.
That's a different level,
Yeah,
bro.
that's a different level of crazy.
That's a different
That
level.
was like my
Like-
junior year before I dropped out of public school, and I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't give a shit, you know.
I would like
That-
s-
Really quick.
Go for
What's
it.
a school trip like?
Yeah,
Well,
I
okay,
wonder.
so
actually.
I wouldn't take like a full like 100 micrograms.
Yeah.
I'd take like between 50 and 75.
Okay,
Still.
that's
So
still
it was
a decent
enough
amount.
to like have
Yeah.
some like visual hallucinations, but like I wasn't fully sauced up, you know.
Gotcha.
But it was fun, you know. I actually like I felt pretty engaged. So like the classes that I had at the time were I had like a band class, I had a pottery class, and like,
Oh, those are the best classes
Yeah.
to trip in. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Now I want to go back
I
to
just-
school just to go trip for
I
one
just
class.
I skipped math and English that day.
Fuck,
like,
yeah,
Smart,
fuck
smart.
that. Those are boring as hell.
That would probably kill the vibe.
yeah, it would ruin
Yeah.
everything.
those teachers weren't very cool.
Fuck those teachers, bro.
We had a teacher at Butte High who would like consistently come to school shit faced.
Yep. We also had a teacher there who threw a desk at a kid, who tried to fight a kid, and then still was able to get his full pension after.
And then after all that,
graduated.
he got offered the job to be the
Yep,
principal.
he was
of
offered the
high
principal
school.
job after throwing a desk at a child.
You know, I got pinned up against a wall by a desk at school by a substitute teacher in middle school, and that was interesting. She lost her job though.
You
Well,
should have sued, man.
I think that's appropriate.
I mean,
You
the
shoulda
thing
sued.
about substitute teachers is I feel so bad for them because, I'll throw myself in this. Every kid in the class just gives them shit because they know they can't control anything. It's like, who cares?
How do you even become a substitute teacher? Like, is that just like
You don't even need like a certificate or anything. You
I
just,
think you
like,
just go
sign
in
up for it.
Yeah, you just go in and do. My mom used to do it.
we should do some like substitute teaching pranks?
Yeah, I'd
that
be
would
down.
be fun, dude. Like make a
Go
YouTube
substitute
video out
teach.
of it.
Yeah, dude.
Oh
exactly.
my god.
You just go
You could
in.
probably actually get in trouble doing something like
definitely
You
that.
definitely
could.
get arrested for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah, you can't film any of the kids in the class.
You just blur out all their faces. You just record like
Yeah.
the fucking.
Just hide the
Can't-
camera like
you'd
in the
have
back
to-
of the room and
you'd
zoom
have to
it in
do-
so it's just you. On
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd also have to distort their audio too. I would think.
Yeah.
No.
Or
And
you
you
have to like, get
probably-
approval from their parents.
You
or-
probably aren't even
And at
able
that
to
point-
film on the school grounds.
Maybe.
And you can, because like the guy who did the Gucci Gang video that was in a
Lil
high
Pump,
school.
Lil
Yeah.
Pump. Oh, it was. Yeah. He probably got like he probably paid for that.
He got
though.
permits and everything,
Yeah.
and the school board still tried to get mad at him because like he brought like a tiger in the school and shit.
That's so. I mean,
What is a school without a tiger?
Yeah.
What
Facts.
the fuck, guys?
I mean, the Bengals were the mascot of my high school, so
so why not bring a Bengal tiger?
that's what I'm saying.
like what the fuck? Why didn't we have a bulldog running around Butte High the whole time?
I'm sure there was at points.
There definitely was at points, but I mean, I don't think it was like for sure ours. It was just
at
there.
one point there was probably a bulldog that the mascot was based off of.
You know how many
No,
goddamn-
there's so many high schools.
There's so many
That's
schools
like
with
the
a
default
bulldog.
like
Yeah.
mascot.
Our
I just
our
feel like maybe
Butte
like some
High's logo.
superintendent.
Butte High's logo is literally Gonzaga's logo, just purple.
Yep,
Yeah, it's so cheap.
it's crazy.
I wonder if there's like a stock like high school team asset website, you know? Like,
I bet there is because like
Yeah.
you always hear about like the Spartans and like all that
Well,
kind
you-
of shit too.
If you ever go through like on sports games like NHL or NBA and you like create a team and you have like the logo options for that, they like give you those high school ass ones.
Yeah.
They're all like bulldogs or fucking some random bird that
Yeah.
are like the most basic high school ones like falcons or eagles or whatever. And it's like, so that's probably what like 90% of the high schools and elementary schools are. It's just like those basic few mascots.
Our middle school one is the Bull Pups.
Yeah, that's gay as shit.
that is pretty lame.
That
Yeah.
is so stupid.
I was proud to be a Bull Pup. Don't talk shit.
I'm gonna talk the maddest shit.
It's pretty lame.
It is so stupid.
I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't even a bull.
Y'all
pup.
wish y'all could have been Bull Pups.
I was a
I
bull-
can feel the envy.
Why do you still have like this level of
respect.
like
Whoa, what is that,
like
dude?
why are you so loyal to your middle schools?
Like, they
mascot?
fucked you. You know why you have this respect? Because you were able to get away with. He faked his death in middle school.
I did like actually.
Like people believed it for days. I remember hearing about it, and I went to a different school.
Parents called the school asking to donate to my cause.
Literally.
What
Yeah.
happened? I need this story.
That's
Get
why-
the dabs rolling. We'll
that-
get right into
That's
it.
why he respects this school so much, because they just let him get
Wait,
away with
wait.
everything.
The
Okay,
fuck?
so I'll start it from the get go. So we went mountain lion hunting. I don't think I've ever told this on the pod either.
No, not on the pod.
I was going mountain lion hunting with my grandpa. It was eighth grade. It was for the weekend, and we were going out to Sealy Lake There's no service out there, right? I told one person I was going. I was kind of like talking to this girl at the time. I didn't really care to tell her that I was going, right? And the one person that I told didn't really care to tell anybody else that I was going either, right? So I come back that Sunday, right? And I see that this girl I was talking to posted on her Snapchat story, hey, has anybody seen or heard from Michael Garrett? Like, I haven't been able to reach him, da-da-da-da-da, right? And so I hit up my friend and I was like, yo, dude, like, who'd you tell that I was leaving? And he's like, nobody. Why? And I was like, okay, cool. Like, at first I was like, kind of like, fuck you. But then I was like, hold up. We could do something with this, right? So I got all of like my best friends in a group chat at the time, and I was like, guys, I'm going to post on my story as my mom that I got in a car crash on my way to mountain lion hunting and that all this. And so I posted on I got them all in on it. I told them to repost it on their story so it looked real, right? For everybody listening, we're taking dabs right now. And we're not crackheads. We're just heading up a metal tube.
The 2 people listening on Spotify.
I'm a crackhead.
But I posted on my story as my mom, and I was like, hey, everybody, this is Michael Garrett's mom. I'm posting this here because a lot of you have been reaching out. I just wanted to post here,
Of course.
before anything happened, that on his way to mountain lion hunting camp this weekend, Michael and his grandpa got in a fatal car crash. Not fatal, but like a near fatal car crash.
Not fatal, but near fatal.
Everyone's going to call me a bitch online.
and so I posted that and I was like, if anybody wants to say anything to him, I will make sure to forward all of these messages to him. He is not awake right now. He is in a coma state. Like, I posted like an adult, dude, right? And within hours, people were posting it all over their stories. People were hitting me up, blowing me up, right? And like, I wasn't like a necessarily like popular kid at the time, right? Like, people knew me, but like people didn't really like care about like me, you know? And so all of these kids start hitting me up. Bro, are you okay? Da, 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 da. Like, tell him I said this, da, 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 right? He always does this. He takes 2 big dabs that
I
he
did
can't
the same
handle.
thing. I'm still trying to recover
See?
over here, yeah.
But
Nectar collectors always surprise me.
I know, dude. Especially the
nectar
classic ones.
It's been going for like 7 years.
And so that Sunday, it was a Sunday night, right? I had school the next morning. And my plan was that night to like post on my story, hey, everybody, this is a joke. Da, 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 da.
That break.
But I had been up since 4 a.m. that morning because I was mountain lion hunting. So I just knocked out, right? I woke up the next morning to people posting on Facebook, hitting me up on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, text, everything, right? And I was like, oh, shit, right? Like, I'm going to get in trouble for this. So I go to school, and I walk into the lunchroom where everybody in the whole school sits, right? And I walk in, right? And I just, like, nothing. Complete quiet. Right, everybody's like
everybody saw a ghost.
Literally, right? And people are walking up to me, dude, I thought you fucking died. Da, 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 da.
Oh, no, that was a joke.
The whole 9, right? And so I go to first period, and I get called down to our vice principal's office, and all of my friends that were in on this were like sitting there already, right? And so I sit down, and he's like, hey, so what did you do this weekend? And I was like, oh, I just went mountain lion hunting, you know. And he's like, anything else? And I was like,
Nah.
not that I can think of, no. And he's like, well, I've been getting some calls from parents asking if they could donate to your medical causes and or funeral expenses. And I was like, that's weird.
That's a strange thing to have
That's
happened.
pretty odd. And my
Why
friends
would
are
they?
just my friends are just
Maybe they're just being generous.
my friends are just sitting there like the whole time, like. And so like he kicks them all out, right? And he's like, we're gonna go talk to the principal, right? And the principal's like this super old, like kind of like hick guy, right? And he's kind of like to the point, he'd retired the year after this. Like he was on his way out mentally, physically, whole 9, right?
Like Joe Biden.
Yeah. And we go into his office, and he clearly had like only heard a little bit about this before. And Mr. I'm gonna say his name, Mr. Miller sits me down, and he's like,
Shout out.
he's like, tell him tell him what happened. And so I was like, I went mountain lion hunting this weekend. He's like, oh, you go mountain lion hunting? I was like, yeah. He's like, where'd you go? And I was like, oh, out by Sealy Lake, da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, whose dogs do you go with? And we just sit there for like about 45 minutes, have a conversation about mountain lion hunting. And he's like, all right, well, you go back to class. And I was like, all right. Okay.
Didn't even say anything about it.
I don't think you should get like in any kind of trouble
I couldn't
at
because
the
it was
school.
off of school grounds.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're
Yeah.
a kid, so and I mean you're not harming
It's
anybody.
also like technically not illegal in America
Nope.
to fake your death.
But they called my mom about it. And my mom, when she heard about it, was not very happy.
she was upsetty.
Your mom can get you in trouble.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Do your promo. Promote
Yeah.
the shit out of yourself right now.
Well, yeah, I guess go follow Captain Marlinn on Instagram and Facebook. I post about like my own performances there, but also go follow Not Sure Productions on Instagram and Facebook because they're tight as fuck. They're bringing some of the dopest artists and production quality to Montana.
Great.
IMO. So shouts out my mom.
Facts.
Shouts out my wife.
Shout out
And
all
my-
these people.
My kid.
Facts. We're gonna put everybody's links in the description, even your kids.
He doesn't have any links
Well,
yet.
we're gonna make one for
It's
him.
gonna be a while.
I tried to find your SoundCloud so I could play some exit music for
There's
you.
nothing on there. I took it all down
Send me
because new shit's coming out soon and it's gonna be dope as fuck. A lot different than my last stuff. So
send me that show Clint that Kendrick shit once this is over.
I guess
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
send you a private link.
Bet.
I forgot
do
about
that.
that's an option.
Do you want me to play that on here?
Yeah, sure.
That Kendrick one's
We
crazy.
could play a little snippet of it. What we gotta give is people wanting more, so we just gotta play like 20 seconds of it.
Oh, dude, it is such a heat little remix. It's a remix of Humble, right?
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Why you got that picture with me of Hitler on 2 different goddamn groups, bro?
Well, this is your
well,
contact
that's
picture.
mine.
It won't let
Okay.
me share it right now. I can send you something else. So.
We could always add it in post too.
We could add it in
No.
post. Yeah.
This one works.
Is there any upcoming shows you'd like to promote?
Yeah, Tynan in Bozeman. Check out the Not Sure Productions page to
Bozeman,
find info on that.
Montana. Go check
Yeah.
out that page, please.
And we'll leave everybody off with a little snippet of.
Yeah.
We'll skip into it a little bit.
Go yeah. Is it gonna play? There it goes.
Tight.